This version of It's Eric Nagel has been modified from its original broadcast. Content has been edited to fit this platform.
Believe none of what you hear and half of what you see.
Are you ready? I said, are you ready?
It's Eric Nagel. And it starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the universe, the next voice you hear, it's Eric Nagel.
And thank you, Scott Shannon. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the program. I am Eric Nagel. Imagine if I wasn't, how great this program would be, and all the opportunities that would come along with it, but alas, that is not so. If you're listening on the iHeartRadio app, thank you very much for doing so. If you're listening on Apple, Spotify, any of those places, do us a kindness, go over there, leave us a positive review. It does help out the program, whether you think it does or not. Stop being lazy. Go over there and help us out. If you want to join us live each and every week as we do this show, you can head over to our live rooms on Twitch and on YouTube, all under It's Eric Nagel. And if you don't want to do any of that stuff and just watch this show when you're damn well good and ready, then you feel free to do so. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's free. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit all the notifications. It lets you know when new things are up, and it lets you know when we are live. Joining me as always from the frozen tundra of Arizona, say hello to Jordan.
Hi, everybody.
And this lovely young lady down here, this eye candy, returning to the show is Gittles.
What up? How's it going, guys?
How have you been, sir? It's been a while.
Yeah, not too bad. You know, just every day living the dream, cutting up animals all day. It's great.
I will say the room looks a little different. I noticed that the dresser back there with the Carvel ice cream light is gone.
Yeah, I'm redoing my room currently. So I put a fresh coat of paint on the back wall there, and I'm going to kind of turn that into a gallery wall because I have like a whole bunch of art that's just been like sitting over here framed that I haven't hung up yet.
Smart. Yeah.
So I'm going to like kind of do up that wall, and then I got some like new shelves up here, and yeah, I'm like really kind of like redoing my room here.
Look at you getting all adult-like.
Yeah, and where those tubs are right now, I'm gonna get those into my closet, and I'm gonna get a small little couch there, so like I got a little like chill space in here.
Something for George to go lay on, so he's not laying on top of you.
Basically, yes.
Fantastic. Look at you. I'm so proud of you. You're getting things done. How's the other industry going? Did we ever say what you... Yeah, I think we did. We said you're a butcher now, right?
Oh, yeah. I've talked about it numerous times.
Yeah, you got a butcher shop. You own a couple things. You're throwing your meat around. People want your meat.
Constantly, man. Yo, it's awesome. I love my job. I get to talk about food all day. I get to, butcher animals. It's awesome.
I do love...
shoot the shit with people, and it's a worker-owned business, so I don't have to report to anybody.
I do love the random text now and then where you just show me that you're holding like a pig's head or a steer or some kind of carcass that you threw up on the thing.
Oh, here, I'll send you one right now to the chat and you can post it. I was cutting off a lamb's head the other day.
Just in time for Easter, everybody.
It's just in time for
Easter, pagan sacrifice, any time of the year is good for that.
Let's see.
All right. While we're getting that all going and ready and getting our shit together to get on with the program, going through the chat here, I see The Beef, aptly titled into all of this. Eric just found your podcast. You were my favorite on O&A. Thank you for being you. Love you, Hoagie Boy. Thank you very much.
10 years in, but that's fine.
It's fine. It's all good. Yeah, we're almost at year 11. Oh my God, we are almost at year 11.
I think it was June? May? Yeah.
Wow. Time went fast. Yeah, go subscribe. Audio, video, whatever you want to do. The iHeart app helps us out too. Do we still have that graphic for the iHeart app, or did I move that? I moved it. If you have the iHeart app, they're doing this thing like Gittles. Remember in your dad's car, they'd have the old favorite buttons that would lock the stations in. They're doing that now in a digital form. It's almost like your MySpace top 8.
Okay.
The company only cares about who's in the number one position on people's favorites now because why ratings or advertising revenue or whatever. It's the newest gimmick that
MySpace is top 8.
Yeah. So essentially that's what iHeart's doing. So put us in your number one position because apparently it means something to somebody, not to us.
This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard today.
Oh yeah, well
I've heard
today.
stupid things today.
A lot of things going on. This is the dumbest.
Yes, pretty much. What else we got going in the chat there? Our pal Tom from Alberta. Your mother was a hamster and your father smelled of elderberries. Who told you? Stop stalking me. God damn it! What's going on there? Sid Coletti. Ooh, I like the. Is that a goatee or is that a neck tattoo? I can't really see on his thing.
I think he's a goat.
Yeah, he could be. He's the one that Gittles beheaded. I'm waiting for that photo to show up.
I posted it in the
oh, you did?
Discord.
Okay, hold on.
The direct message.
Love to see. Oh my God.
Yeah, I love seeing when you post those because they are brutal.
Can we? Is my question. Can we post that? Is that considered? No, you know what? It's done in a.
It's at work. You can see all the knives.
It's Transformative Meatia. We're just going to comment on it.
Transformative Meatia.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, God damn it. Is that the show title? I gotta write
Transformative Meatia.
Yeah, hold on. Give me a second here. Don't forget that. I'm going to load up the photo as we speak. Where did it go? I lost it already. Damn it. This is great. This is why I have shit prepared before the show.
Well, you didn't say send me the beheaded lamb head pictures before the show. I would have sent them to you ahead of time.
That is a fair point.
Ahead of time.
Had I known. We miss you for your puns and your show titles. Oh, here it is. Okay. Viewer discretion advised. Is it upside down?
Well, I cut its head off, and that was its shoulder section cut in half. So I had it on the table, and I just kind of put it between its hands.
Wow.
That is gross.
Michael literally just covered in blood all day. It's great.
This is the shit that comes out of the walls and when you're playing like demonologist. It's like, look, I'm just trying to walk through the hospital, find my objectives, and now there's just, decapitated deer carcasses scaring me at every turn. That is horrific. But
customers just come in the store. I'm just like hacksawing it off. I'm just like, hey, what's going on? What can I help you guys out with?
That is horrific, but I'm glad you found
the kids love them.
Yeah, that's true. They do love them. They always come in and they ask for scraps and parts. They take them home willingly to their parents.
Yep.
Kids are weird. This man, we'll have to tell the legend of this man at some point. But Hellraiser 69 is in here. I'll give you the quick update. Hellraiser is
a movie.
1. 2, he's a guy that just happened to leave a random comment on the Howard Stern YouTube channel on one of the video. I think it was the video where they had Triumph, the insult comic dog, going around roasting the employees of the show. And for some reason, Howard looked at that channel and saw this guy's comment, and he said something along the lines as like, finally, something funny on the Stern show. It set Howard off.
Did it?
To an extent that he had a meltdown on the air of epic proportions. We're not going to go into that, but if you want to go over to, we see our pal here, Carl from WATP, go over to his channel. I think he's got the that segment cut up on his channel there, and watch the Howard Stern meltdown. Hilarious. And an interesting case study is how we are all damaged in this industry. And you go, wow, you thought everybody, or at least somebody in radio and television was normal, and it turns out it's not. You're in there long enough, you become the villain, and you tilt your hand and you go, holy shit, this guy's been a problem for a long, long time. So thank you for coming in, buddy. And then St. Ranger is here too. Howdy, Eric. Hi to the co-host. Howdy to the audience. Howdy, sir. Thank you for moseying on in. So if we're going to talk old cowboy you like, why not? Gittles, since you work in some form of the food industry.
It's definitely a form of the food industry, yes.
It's one of the forms, yes.
I wanted to talk to you about this. So, you're familiar with The Gothamist, everybody out there. If you're not, it's, how do you call it? It's like a non-profit news organization that's run locally in New York. I don't know if it's...
Is it non-profit? I don't know.
It's a non-profit thing, but I'm trying to remember if it's like an AM station that runs it or
it's just like
a local television network.
Like a local New York like tabloid zine type shit.
Hold on, I'm looking it up here. Nonprofit newsroom powered by WNYC, which I think is like an AM station or a low-powered FM thing, or whatever. So they put stuff out, and every now and then I'm like, oh, that's interesting, and a lot of the stuff is complete nonsense. They put this article out, which was very misleading, because I thought they were complaining about the extraordinary sandwich selection that you can have in the New York City area. The title alone seemed like a bait and switch thing, and it turned out to absolutely be that. Let me see if I can bring this up here for you to look. Where did it all go? Is that it? There it is. Sandwiches in New York City have become enormous and too big to eat, so I tried some. Now, right from the headline there, you're thinking, what's the problem? What's the problem? This is nothing new to the New York City area. If you know of Katz's Deli, or when the Carnegie Deli used to still be a thing, it was a legendary eating establishment.
New York City is known for big sandwiches.
Yeah. And if you know how to do it right, you get extra rye bread and you make multiple sandwiches out of your big sandwiches. You have some there and you bring the rest home for dinner or the next day.
Exactly. The Mitch Hedberg. It's not a Mitch Hedberg joke. It was a prophecy. It was like, bring extra bread and some other people.
Yeah, that's all this stuff is, and it's fantastic. It should be, for the fact that you're paying almost $30 a sandwich.
Dude, it's like $38 now or something like that.
Really?
It's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good, but it's not worth the wait and that cost.
I cannot recommend following the Katz's Deli Instagram account or their TikTok, because it's the same feed. But they're just constantly just showing you videos of a guy spearing a giant brisket out of some kind of
just like chop.
Yep, out of some heating tank, just throws it on the wooden slab there, and he's slicing and dicing. There's
my favorite part about that whole video is they're doing everything like the old school style, and there's always that one video that comes up where they're doing like the Reuben, and the guy like takes out the meat and he chops it all up, he throws the cheese on, and then he just pops it in the microwave for like 30 seconds, and it really takes like the joy out of the sandwich when he throws it in the microwave.
They don't put the meat in the sandwiches. I mean, the meat in the microwave.
No, when they do the melted cheese sandwiches, like the special.
Oh yeah,
ones.
well, you know
So
why?
every once in a while, that video will come up, and it always takes it out of me when they throw it in the microwave. I'm like, no,
I
don't
get
do
it,
that.
but you can't just sit there. They can't have a guy sitting there with a giant vat of melted Jarlsberg or something.
Well, they should.
Yes, but it might not be
enough to go there. They could hire a fucking cheese wizard.
It might not be sanitary.
Cheese concierge
is what I'm saying. It's like, you know, those machines they make for wax, like when you see them. Who's the Maker's Mark? I think they have a video up there where they have the thing of wax, and they show you after they prepare the bottle, they just dip it into the wax machine and it dries instantly. But that thing is constantly at like a scorching heat to keep the wax, molded and ready to go. If you had that in the back of a Katz's Deli with the cheese, I would tip an extra $5 if they like gave you a spoonful, like a wooden spoon, and said, "Here, you can taste the scalding cheese."
Oh my God,
I feel like you're describing fondue. Like that's literally what we're doing.
Yeah, but it's not the
scale.
it's not the shitty cheese that people use for fondue.
Well, yeah,
I know
like
Swiss
Costco fondue.
I know Swiss is part of some of the
tub.
fondue, but it doesn't taste like that. What they're doing is they have a giant thick piece of Swiss cheese that's on that plate that just liquefies as soon as they put it in that high-powered microwave. So I understand what you're saying, but it's also a necessity for how they're doing that.
Yeah,
I've seen them when you see the briskets. I mean, pastrami and corned beef. They do it with the turkey. They make these giant hot dogs where I've seen them. People dumping the sauerkraut and the Russian dressing and the Swiss cheese onto that. It's a fantastic place. Anyway, this is one of the things that makes New York City fantastic. Large, oversized, unnecessary foods. So this article here, I'm reading this thing and I'm like, this seems like they're complaining about the giant sandwiches. Why would you complain about this? And then there's a bit of a turn later on. No, it was an excuse for the person to go and eat giant sandwiches and probably write it off on the company dime, which bravo to you. But they're talking about, what was this one here? Mama's 2 chicken a la vodka sandwich. I know that's a big thing for a while where they're making a chicken parm, but they use it with the vodka sauce instead of the regular tomato sauce.
Still fucking good. Usually on like a garlic bread hero too.
Yeah, that sounds so good.
Yeah, but this one here is it says combines cutlets, vodka sauce, pesto, and burrata. For a messy, beautiful handheld that could get you a bit turned on. Then there was also the dumb good Gargiulo burger, a roast beef patty plus broth creation at Brennan and Carr, which I'm not familiar with, Sheepshead Bay. That had one guy invoking the sign to cross and murmuring about the terrible things it made him want to do. This is a fantastic thing. I don't know why online I was seeing some people saying that, you get the hack people that say, oh, no, this is a heart attack in the making. I'm ready to see the diabetes. And it's like, shut the fuck up.
Every time you see something with like a big sugar content, it's like, ooh, I'm getting diabetes just thinking about it. I was like, well, good.
Right.
Maybe you'll be
please.
Beef in the chat saying, worth the wait is right. Yes, fantastic. Sid Coletti, a cheese wizard. He's be a cheese whiz then, huh? That's fucking double guns. Nailed it. Double everything burger at Moe's Pastrami and Burger in Prospect Lefferts Gardens. I don't know where that is. Prospect Park, right? Probably somewhere.
It's not far from our shop one.
Okay. The double spicy chicken sandwich at Chickies in Queens. That I've heard of that place. A multitude of offerings at G&R Deli in the Bronx. The list goes on. Yeah, if you go down Arthur Avenue and stuff, there's amazing Italian food, sandwiches, all that kind of stuff there. Gittles, what have you been eating? Look, this is a $16 double everything burger.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Yeah, it really. I don't know if that's onions or bacon and jam or both.
I always like when they wrap it in the wax paper, but the wax paper can't handle all the grease, so it starts to become clear.
It's
like Dr. Nick rubbing it on a wall.
Exactly.
That's where you know. What was it saying? The fatty food groups.
Yeah.
It's like if you're not sure, rub it on a piece of
just a wall.
Rub it on
and
a paper towel.
Clear.
Yeah. Gittles, what have you been eating?
Oh, whatever.
No, are you going to do any of these things? You're in an area of Brooklyn that has all these fantastic boutique style places.
So I've been going to. There's a new burrito truck by me that's really good, and I've been getting burritos from them. There's a new ice cream shop by me that's been pretty good. I've been getting a lot of that. But I don't know. It's tough because I get a free sandwich every day at lunch, so I don't really. Don't go out for other sandwiches.
Do you have to mark it off like if you worked at a fast food place, you make the thing and then you write it on a clipboard or something in the back so that they know to no?
No. Like lunch is included, and we're allowed to have anything we want. If I wanted a steak, I could throw a steak in the oven and cook it and have it for lunch. Like I could totally do that.
That's how it was when I used to work for Starbucks, where you could, while you were working, you could drink as much coffee as you wanted. You just had to make it, and it was just like I'd be like just shaking at the end of the day, and then I'd just take home my pound of coffee a week. That's why I don't drink as much coffee as I do. I just got burnt out of it.
Well, the other day, so we had like a half-hour lunch break, and that includes like us making the sandwich. And the other day, it took me like 10 minutes to make my lunch. And they're like, Brian, what are you doing? What are you making for lunch? And I made a 6-inch party sub, and I cut up all the stuff for like the Italian side, and I cut up all the stuff for the American side, and I put it together on a small ciabatta roll.
Gittles just puts 2 slices of bread around that lamb he cut up, and he's like, "This is mine."
Oh, it was so good. It was so many slices of meat, though. I was just like constantly like this. I felt like I was training for a boxing movie.
Looks like Dagwood. Just stacks and stacks of meat.
But yeah, even a customer's like, "What are you making back there?" And I just kind of like turned and laughed, like like just like as a mad scientist,
blood and meat everywhere.
Yeah. Just making my 6-inch party hero.
6-inch?
Yes, Eric. Did you not hear me just say that I took 10 minutes to make?
No, I understand that. I understand that, but I'm also saying 6-inch. That's all you did.
Well, that's the size of the ciabatta rolls that we have at our.
But the proper sizing is 6 foot.
Yeah, I know. I was doing the home version.
You were building it up, not out.
Exactly. Yeah. Manhattan. It's an island. It's an island. We got to go up.
This giant sandwich that he uses like a shish kebab spear to hold it all together, and has like either an olive or a pickle at the top.
Oh,
it's the New York skyscraper sandwich. It's not wide, it's tall.
Oh. Yeah, exactly.
That's funny.
I want that.
Yeah, it's really good.
I want that.
Now I'm not upset about that.
No, now I'm just willing to leave the show right now to go get one of those things.
That's what I've been having, just making weird sandwiches every day for lunch, and then just cooking steaks for dinner all the time because I take steaks home all the time.
Well, la-di-da.
It's been pretty great, not gonna lie.
I wish I lived closer. I'd be going there over there all the time. It's like, hey,
it was like, he's here to see me again.
The freezer's looking a little full. Can I take some of that off your hands there?
I'm like, here, I'll just throw it in the bag. I might take it.
Anything else been going on with you, man? Anything new?
No, that's pretty much it, man. My life is just like, just been working a lot, going to the movies when I get a chance to. I'm going to the movies tomorrow night. I'm looking forward to it. There's
what are you going to see?
I don't know. That's the best part.
Secret movie goings.
Yeah, there's a this like secret movie like horror club thing in Greenpoint, and it happens like every month. It's called Terror.
It's a cult. You're in a cult now.
Yes, I am. Well, it's in a movie theater.
Is the right time.
Well, the movie theater is in the back of an old funeral home. So yes, so it is like a full movie theater built in a funeral home, and it's always a random horror movie, and you get free wine with it.
Now, are these like newer type horror? Or are they indie horror? Or like you watching like old classics from like the 70s?
We're just watching just weird, obscure stuff. So we watched we watched the movie once. It was Who Could Kill a Child from like 1979. And then we watched The Loved Ones recently. Yeah. We watched,
was it like a dare? You need a time machine who can go back to 1979 and kill a child?
No, it's like an island where these people that go on vacations. This island, and all the children are possessed, and they're just like killing all the adults. But like the adults don't want to kill the children. Yeah, it's a weird.
I'd be swinging a baseball bat so quickly. I wouldn't feel bad whatsoever.
Burn the island down. Just go right to the source.
Yeah, we watched one about a giant killer pig. That one was good. But yeah, the one tomorrow is
send me these titles. These sound interesting.
Was this the movie poster?
No, the pig one was called Razorback.
Okay.
Oh, I've seen that one.
Yeah,
like an old Australian movie.
Yeah.
Is that the one? Okay.
Yeah, it's an Australian movie. Yeah, it's about a giant. It was like their Jaws, but with a pig.
Yeah, it was like just a giant pig on the
just
the
a gigantic Jaws-sized pig on land. But the one tomorrow, she said it's an obscure, really gross body horror movie from the 80s. So I'm looking forward to whatever the fuck it's going to be.
It's going to be Society, and you're going to be upset.
I don't care. I love Society.
I mean, Society is great, but
I'd love to see it on a giant screen. But she said it's obscure, and I don't feel like Society's that obscure.
No, I know. That's just so funny.
So we'll really fun. Yeah, so that'll be fun. Just doing that. I might do some pop-ups. There's some restaurants in town here. So working at the butcher shop, I've become friends with like every restaurant owner in the neighborhood. So now every time I go into like a place, I get 10% off. That's basically my whole point of this job, is I just like to get discounts at places. So a couple places want me to do some like pop-up food stands. So I might do some pop-ups. So
we were just doing a bunch of videos last week of like the LA food truck culture. Like they're just in old parking lots and old establishments and stuff every weekend. It's almost like their version of a flea market kind of thing. And you just walk in there and all these trucks are doing all these amazing. The one place we saw was doing that giant burrito where they put the rice and they put the protein on there. Then they hand it back to you, and they have essentially a fixins bar. And you go and you put whatever else you want in there. Then you bring it back to them, this giant mess.
Fold it up?
They fold it up. They press it down almost like a panini thing to seal the burrito. And then you're walking off with something like that big.
Oh, man, that sounds awesome.
That and then our favorite, the guys in North Virginia, I think they're in the Alexandria area, that have that food truck where people are just showing up with bags of chips and rice cakes and stuff. And they just slice it open and... It's great to have a gimmick. I mean, amazing food does help, but when you can have some slight little gimmick that just appeals to everybody online, then you're making bank off of what would just be something casual, you walking through a major city. So if you're going to do something like that, you got to find your little gimmick for that and get some videos, and then it just blows up.
Yeah, so so I might do something like that. But yeah, just doing lots of food related things. It's very delicious.
I was gonna say, do you make pizzas still? We were just talking about that. I don't remember if we talked about the air. We were talking about where you were just making pizzas like just in your apartment during COVID, and it was just like
I was doing that and selling them for a while, but like no one's requested them, so I just haven't really done them. But if someone wanted one, I would totally make a pizza.
We gotta figure out how you can like freeze, like you could like freeze them for me and just send them out.
Yeah, I could find a way.
Hollywood agent Rob Stark is back from his Caribbean adventure, saying, my favorite taco truck is in a gas station parking lot every day. He's out in the LA area. Yeah, I really envy that. For as shitty as LA is in other reasons, their food scene is fantastic.
Well, that's starting to be the big thing. Like I have every Friday in my area, the local library has their big parking lot opened up, and it's tons of food trucks. And they just do like food truck nights. And then you see them on the side of the road here because we're kind of in a desolate area where they just park, set up shop, and people just go eat food. My favorite hamburger place locally to me is inside a Chevron. Like they have like an actual kitchen and like a restaurant built inside my Chevron gas station, and it's some of the best hamburgers I've ever had in my life. And it's like, it's starting to be where you don't have to have all these high-end restaurants or even like, brick and mortar places where they'll just
even
have
proper health inspections.
You know what? I haven't died yet.
Yeah.
Well, let's not knock that, because there's a couple, when we still had the studio in the city, a couple of places nearby that would just kind of rent out their loading dock areas, and people would do little pop-up things every day. And they were there for maybe 2-3 hours. Pop-up Chinese, pop-up Spanish food. And
I went to one of those because I was like, if the line's this long near the dumpsters for food, it's got to be good. And I was like, standing next to garbage cans, and I got a whole plate of like roasted chicken and pernil and plantains. It was great. It was like $8.
Yeah, it's almost like going to Pollo Yoko or something, where you just walk over there and they give you the $5, $8, whatever, big styrofoam container, all of the seasoned meats and the rice and sauces, and fantastic. It's like, why is anybody going to the fast food places in Manhattan or like any of the diners that are there? Go to these people on the street. It's so good.
Right.
So good. Anything else we got to get to before we go? Oh, yes. Coming up later on the program, our pal comedian Dave Landau, also host of Normal World on the Blaze Network, has a brand new book that just came out today called Party of One. It's talking about him growing up through his substance abuse and recovery, heartfelt stories, humorous stories, all that stuff. The foreword is by Brad Garrett of Everybody Loves Raymond, and has a very popular comedy club. I think it's in the MGM out in Vegas.
It is, yeah. I remember walking through there last time I was in Vegas to get on the monorail from there, and you could, he's everywhere.
Monorail. Oh, the sounds of the city, Gittles. Is there a truck backing up into your building?
There's a truck backing up.
Right into his building.
All right. Well, that'll work well as we go into This Week in Disasters. We have so much to get to, many disasters, because we haven't done it in the last 2 weeks. Gittles, when this year started, we went, I think, on a 4 or 5 week run of the majority of the show. It's like, there's more plane crashes. There's more of this happening. Train stuff.
I watched the news. I saw it.
Yeah, it was nonstop. Then we had to take a break. It's like, all right, we got to not want to kill ourselves for a little while. We need to take a break and
let them pool up a little bit. Skim the top, get the good ones.
Oh, well, they did in a big way. And we're going to start off with the probably the most horrific and impressive visuals of the earthquake that happened in Southeast Asia.
Right.
Over in Thailand. But the earthquake originated out of, how do you say it, Myanmar? Myanmar.
George, stop that.
It originated out of there. The earthquake death toll as of a couple hours ago is over 3,200 people.
Jesus.
The U.S. Geological Department is estimating that when all said and done, not just in Myanmar or in Thailand, the entire region there. Once they figure everything out, they're estimating anywhere from 10,000 to 100,000 people. That seems far-fetched, but then as this number is shooting up and you're seeing more and more footage, you're like, nope, this seems, unfortunately, it's going to be pretty accurate. The epicenter, 7.7 on the magnitude quake, happened on March 28th near Mandalay. The second largest city in Myanmar, also affected, throughout Thailand, Bangkok. We have some footage of there. Brought down thousands of buildings, buckled roads, destroyed infrastructure, bridges in multiple regions. This whole thing is crazy. So I put this package together. We're going to look at some of this stuff here, and we'll pause as we go, because this is essentially, it's a horror movie.
Yeah,
disaster movie.
I think the last biggest thing we covered like this was, I think, the hurricanes back in I think October.
Right.
Just in the scale of like just how crazy it looked.
But when you see the footage here,
yeah.
Do you remember, like, it must have been a decade ago at this point, The Rock had a
San Andreas.
San Andreas, thank you, an earthquake disaster movie. Now, great CGI, all of this stuff, but a lot of it was just like so improbable. Like he drove a boat through a collapsing building, that kind of nonsense that takes you out of it.
If Cusack can drive a limo over a gorge in 2012,
it wasn't just a limo.
Drive a boat.
He just picked up his family, and as he's driving on a not even a major highway, a residential road, and you see the crack cartoonishly following him as he's driving a limousine, which has no pickup. Yeah.
Or shocks.
Yeah. Any of that stuff.
No way.
Let's take a look at this here. Of course, we know these scenes we've seen where some buildings were shaking, that the pool water was falling down from the top of these buildings. And then other buildings were just collapsing altogether. Look at the pool footage. Just pouring over the top, all the way down the side of the building, down to the streets. Now, this clip here, this is the building that they've kept showing over and over, that the crane falls over and then the building collapses. There's a different video, which I didn't pull for here, and probably best I didn't.
Oh, I've seen it.
When the crane falls over, there is an operator in there. There was a guy in the crane when this happened.
Yeah, he was probably just working, didn't know an earthquake was going to happen.
Right. And there was a zoomed in version where you see him fall right out, and then it's
like it's coming down, and then at some point he's not like falling out. It's like he jumped out away from the rest of the crane, but there's nowhere else to go. I mean, this guy,
I don't know if he jumped out. It looked like he might have been thrown out by how fast it was going. But
it was rough.
The problem with that was it was horrific. But he falls down. There's like a lot on the side of the building. The crane falls on top of him. It was like the coyote falling off the cliff, and then a giant boulder lands on top of him. Cartoonish, I know, but paints a picture of like how terrible all of this is. Big Red Tower in the chat. Let's put pools on the roofs of skyscrapers built in a fault zone.
I always wondered that too. Like, I know the technology for some of these buildings, they have hydraulics built into them to allow shifting, especially like in California or some of these fault zones. But like, it's still ridiculous to me to be in this, because like I've been in a few earthquakes, and it's terrifying even if you're on the ground level, let alone if you're sitting on the top of this building.
Right.
Ugh.
But if you see the skylines of Bangkok, of Myanmar, I'm going to get that right one day, even areas over in Singapore and stuff, it's like the movie says, crazy rich Asians. There's just
there's a lot
enormous architecture and infrastructure out there, and you go, this looks fantastic. And then you find out, a lot of swamp area and on a fault line, and could be volcanic. So
could be. I think it's in the it's in that
area.
Ring
of fire, right?
Yeah, it's in the Ring of Fire area.
Yeah. Well, we haven't seen that yet. Maybe. I mean, who knows? We're only 4 months into the year now. Who knows what else will happen? But let's continue this here. Look at the crane, just bending, tipping right over.
Ooh. That's the same building?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This is all footage from different angles. Now this
get the fuck out of there.
This footage here reminded me a lot of September 11th, when people were running down 10th or 11th Avenue?
West Side Highway.
West Side Highway, when the smoke hit the little cross bridge and then just engulfed everything as people were running away from the collapse. Watch this. So there's workers on the site near the building. They're all running away. They're on the main streets now running, and they're not outrunning the smoke. This is a different angle. The what?
You can't outrun that. No. It's crazy how they just collapse. It's like Independence Day or some shit. Like when
it's like they're being imploded. Like they just kind of go straight down.
That's the same up the other angle.
Yeah, this is the smoke coming. And look, again, another bridge crossing the road there.
I love how like they're just standing there and dude, run.
Yeah. Well, maybe at that I mean, yes, I agree with you, but maybe at that point, like, where am I going to go? This is coming. Yeah, look at this. So this guy, as he's on the street there, he's got his phone on. He's got the camera going. You see just the clouds engulfing the entire area, the streets, whatever. He turns and runs to get into a car. Look how fast this changes. Look at the windshield.
Oh, yeah.
It's under layers of debris. Now
it's like when a volcano erupts and it's like
these are the ones are freaking me out when I'm watching these ones, because you could see the buildings moving and just I couldn't imagine being on that walkway.
Well, I've got multiple angles of this too that's going to freak you out. So these are two buildings. I don't know what the complex is called, but they're not connected, but they're connected in Bangkok, Thailand. They're two separate these didn't collapse.
Okay.
These two were separated, but they have kind of a bridge between the buildings, so a walkway, a dais, if you will. It disconnects as the buildings are rumbling. See, the buildings are swaying. I have more of this footage too. This was somebody in an apartment building or a hotel room. These are people on top of as the building's swaying. I love when people put footage up there and they got to add in the movie sound effects and the music.
I didn't know if that was movie sound effects or the actual sounds of the buildings like shaking from the earthquake.
No, that's the actual sounds, but the music.
Get out of here, Hans Zimmer.
The music.
We're trying
to
have an earthquake.
Yeah, John Williams has to be a part of everything. Okay, so I don't know if this is a hotel room or an apartment building, but this guy opens up his sliding glass door, goes to his railing. Looks right up, and you see the walkway between the two buildings breaking open.
Oh, you could see just big chunks of that building falling off.
Yeah. You're hearing metal and concrete just ripping apart and dropping down below.
Like places I would not want to be right now.
No, and here's the thing. Like, I don't know if I'd be standing there taking that footage. Like, I'd be like, oh, this sucks. I got to get out of here. Like,
yeah, I'd be thinking, well, I've seen the Twin Towers. This building could collapse. I should try to run down the stairs and see if I can make it out. But then again, we wouldn't have this footage, so it's kind of 50-50.
Thanks to him.
It looks a lot like LA.
I'd be like tying sheets together to make like a fucking parachute. Like,
yeah, because that rope ladder isn't going to go that far, so you might as well.
It's not going to go 40 stories.
I better just hope for the best. See if I can hang glide on the way down. But see, this is one of the two buildings that had the walkway in the middle.
Yep.
Oof.
The pools are overflowing.
Just look at how much it's swaying back and forth.
This is another street angle of that one building that was being constructed falling down.
How mad would you be? Like, you spent just so much time building that building. It's still being constructed, and then all your work goes away. It's like watching someone like knock over your Jenga.
Especially because you were probably at the building that day while it fell down, like working.
I would be very upset.
I'd be very upset if I was on that building and it collapsed with me on it.
Trashitarian in the chat saying, if you experience earthquakes frequently, you might not think much of them at first. That is kind of true.
There's some truth to that.
People
for sure.
in LA, just anytime you see something on the news, like Rob does it all the time. It's like, hey, dude, there's an
earthquake.
There was an earthquake up. Yeah, that was Northern California. Yeah, but geographically, it's not that far from you. Okay? Yeah, everyone's fine. Everyone's going to work. No, there's no big deal. That could have been this situation. It's like, oh, just yeah, buildings fall in Thailand all the time. We're used to it.
Yeah, it's all the time.
All the time. This is rooftop footage of watching the pool sway and then pretty much hit the side of the glass like you were, those ships that are in the North Sea? The tanker ships? Look at this. And that lady sitting there, or that guy sitting there, has a baby with him. Why aren't you trying to get out of there?
Where are you gonna go? We'll get washed away out there?
No, down. You're on the top of the building. Head to the stairs and try to get down.
Oof. You can just hear like all the metal shifting.
Yeah, grinding. This was a
Look at this dorks.
Yeah. Guy's in the pool. He can't get out because of the water swaying.
I mean, this one's comical.
But the lady's sitting there. She's like, what's going on? What do I do? If the pool's moving on its own, that should be a red flag that something is wrong. It's not like
this shouldn't be.
Yeah, it's not like he's sitting in the surf in low tide and like, oh my God, the waves are coming in. Look at this.
Poor guy.
Oh, I didn't see that last time. Look at these people up in the right corner there.
You're just sunbathing.
They just got soaked with a 6-foot wave from the pool, and none of them got up like, oh, my phone's messed up. Nothing.
Well,
They're
yeah,
like,
oh, that's weird.
Yeah, like, oh, that was nice and refreshing. I've been laying in the sun all day. It's 100 degrees out. My Coke is on the table there. Somebody's blaming kids, you know, when they make, because I see Hellraiser here, man, that's not a wave pool. When kids are jumping up and down to purposely make the pool uncomfortable for everybody. Yeah, look at that. That's insane.
Oh. Again, it goes to the I'll take it being way too hot here and I can just go inside than having to deal with any kind of other disasters.
Yeah, you rather melt than wash away.
I could stay indoors. Like as long as my air conditioning doesn't go out, knock on wood, then I am okay.
Big Red Tower in the chat said, if they say the death toll is under 50,000, I'm calling bullshit. Well, we said earlier they've officially said it's about 3,200 right now.
Right.
And they're day 4 of rescues, and now they're getting to the point of where they switch it over from rescues to recovery in the operation, where they stop, like, it's been too long. We're not going to find people anymore. Let's just start digging up stuff and hope for the best. All right, so that's what's going on in Southeast Asia. Let's go up to a northern part of Asia, over in Seoul in South Korea, which is looking a lot like New Jersey lately, because if you're on I-80, there seems to be a whole lot of sinkholes happening in the last couple of years. They just were trying to repair and open up a recent sinkhole, but through some exploratory thing they found like a vast void under most of the highway, so they had to shut down even more of the highway, and it's not going to be open for a while because now they got to go and what's this void under the highway, under the earth? This is going to collapse a huge portion of the highway. So I don't know how you fix that. I don't know how you can't just fill a giant pocket of earth with cement. I don't know what you do there, but
not with that attitude.
It would be fun to try. But let's see what's going on here. If you've seen this footage or not of this sinkhole that opened up out of nowhere in Seoul.
Oh, shit.
If you missed that, I'll play it again here for you.
Yeah, do it again.
All right. So what we're seeing is a dash cam, right? And up ahead, it's about to go through an intersection. Up ahead is a guy on a bike, moped kind of thing, and a white car in front of that person. The lane, it's actually 3 lanes, give away. The car somehow manages to get out, but the bike doesn't.
Oh my God. See, I didn't even notice the motorcyclist the first time. I saw the white car just flip up. I thought it just...
Now I'm pausing it here for a second.
That motorcycle guy is on another planet.
Yeah, that hole opened up. He went right down.
He's hanging out with the Morlocks.
The white car that managed to, as the hole was happening, the car somehow accelerated off the piece of the street that was going down and made a ramp, and they Dukes a Hazzard out of the last there. But you can see right behind the truck, it looks like the back axle of the car is just right there. Like, that car's not going anywhere anymore. The guy who fell in on the motorcycle apparently fell down and then fell into some kind of like underground water duct.
Okay.
And they didn't find him for over a day. Like, he was not, it's like, well, here's the hole. He should be here. He wasn't there. He went down, went in, and then kind of moved position. I guess the water underground moved him to a different spot. And
I'm assuming he died.
Yeah, he was not alive. When
just riding around
when
in the
he was
sewers
found.
down there with the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. Let's see. I think I have a zoomed-in version, but yeah, look at this. Here's what else is interesting.
And it's like still collapsing too. Like
I was wondering if that was like lights off the windshield.
It's still like slowly collapsing. You can see pieces of it falling in like as they're parked there.
Oh my god.
So you see 3 lanes here of this side of the road. There's 3 lanes on the other side of the road. Nobody on the other side is stopping.
Well, yeah, it's not bugging them.
They keep going.
I would be concerned that it's just going to open across.
Yeah. Apparently not. They give 0 fucks over there about this thing here. And you can see as these cars are going that on the left side of the hole there, you see that start to tip as well.
Just keep driving by going, forgiveness, please.
Yeah. And look, there's another guy on a motorcycle.
Right, falling the other way.
Yeah, right next to the edge of the hole there, not caring. It's like, oh yeah, look at that. Keeps going.
See Korea's. Oh, there it goes.
Yeah.
He almost did biker too.
I was gonna say he would have been in there.
Right as the bike goes over, it gets to the other side.
Maybe it's his fault.
Boom. Oh wait, where did he go? Where's the biker guy?
Go back just a little bit.
There he is.
There it is. Right there. Gone.
Collapse. Done. So even if the original biker had fallen into the hole and say was laying on top of the debris, right? The rest of the hole, as that got bigger, fell on top of him. That would have been the end of him anyway.
Oh, no thanks.
Smoke, dust. Who knows if there's... Look, you could see the water right there. It was hitting pipelines, sewage lines. Guy's gone.
Yeah.
Terrible, horrific disaster. All right. Moving on. Where is it? Oh, here's an added thing here for the sinkhole. It was a 20-meter sinkhole.
A meter.
33-year-old motorcyclist body was found in a subway tunnel.
Jesus.
50 meters away from the sinkhole. I guess the water moved him over into that subway area. He was found dead after an 18-hour search.
Oof.
So when they went to look for him, he was not where they thought he was. That thing moved him into a subway tunnel. Now imagine if he was alive, the water moves him into the subway tunnel, he falls into the tunnel, and then the train hits him. It's just like that guy had no luck at all. God was smiting him for some reason.
He was smote.
He was smoted indeed. All right, moving on to Texas. This happened a couple weeks ago. It seems every week there's just, you watch the national news and they're always talking about a wave of storms coming to hit the Midwest and the northern part of the country. And it's the same like half moon crescent design as it's going through. It's like, oh, Alabama, Tennessee, Indiana, all these places just keep getting hit every week. And while this was going on, a different kind of storm, I guess in the back end of that storm front happening in Texas, it turned into Arizona. It was just the mummy sandstorm blowing off trucks and other cars and not seeing anything and just lifting trucks like they weighed nothing. Look at this.
Tonight, the stunning power of this storm seen on a highway near Amarillo, Texas.
There goes another one.
Massive wind gusts knocking over tractor trailers. One
that one's just crazy.
See, it looks like
just lifts up real quick.
It looks like
someone really needs to remix this to like the Tony Hawk soundtrack.
It looks like it's the CGI before they put like the giant, like Godzilla or a giant transformer in there lifting up the truck.
Hit it.
Yeah.
Like play some ska underneath this, Eric. Play some ska music. It'll be great.
One
pick it up.
after another, after another. Here, police stop to try and assist.
It looks Texas like they're trying to push.
What? What were they going to do?
They were pushing it over. Look, their hands are on it.
They're the ones.
Imagine they're trying to hold, like they're holding the door handle, trying to keep the truck from flipping over.
It falls over, and they just go, "What?" Just go flying.
They look as dumb as the tourists that are in over in Pisa when they put their hands against the tower, like they're preventing it from tipping over.
Highway near Amarillo, Texas.
There goes another one.
Massive wind gusts knocking over tractor trailers. One after another, after another. Here, police stop to try and assist. Texas Department of Public Safety says there were at least 3 fatal crashes among 24 across West Texas. Here, panicked drivers trapped in a sea of brown dust. The powerful storm sparking apocalyptic scenes, reducing visibility to 0 across several major interstates, officials say, causing this mess of mangled cars and overturned trucks.
We got other flipped over semi. It's going to be in the northbound lanes as well, blocking all traffic.
An ambulance seen here crushed after a collision. And this pileup on I-27, which was shut down. The blinding conditions fueled by more than 80-mile-per-hour winds. And those destructive winds also fueling fires, including in Lake Tanglewood, Texas. This blaze just steps from homes and businesses. Tonight, others forcing evacuations in several counties across Texas and Oklahoma.
Overnight, a deadly weather outbreak, violent dust storms, wildfires, and a string of tornadoes ripping across the country. In Texas, at least 4 people
this
dead
is a different
after
news
a blinding
thing that I
dust
pieced
storm
together
swept
with it.
through the Panhandle.
They had different
Wind gusts
footage.
hitting 84 miles per hour, visibility near zero. Watch as the powerful winds knock over tractor trailer after tractor
And these are
trailer.
all different trucks. It's not like some of these are the same truck footage. You're looking at the colors, the design. There's like at least a dozen trucks that are just keep flipping over.
Well, imagine seeing the other trucks falling over and be like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a shot. Like, no,
I
you're
think
not
I can
gonna
make
make
this.
it, brother. You're not gonna do it. It's like the Oracle in fucking Neverending Story. Like, you're trying to run through without getting zapped. Like, it ain't happening, buddy. You're getting zapped.
It's like when there's people that are stopped on a highway because it looks like it's giant flooding, and the guy in the SUV goes, "Oh, I can go through there," and gets maybe 10 feet further, and then his truck's flooded and he's stuck
It's
down
why
in a
they
giant
had
puddle.
to enact things, especially here in Arizona, called the stupid driver's law, where, you know, when we get flash flooding here, when we finally get some rain, all these washes that are usually bone dry are filling up with water, and you don't know how deep they are. You don't know how soft the sand is. And yeah, they get stuck and then they get swept away. Now we're just like, okay, we'll rescue you, but now you're going to pay or probably get, like, you know, jail time for being stupid.
Good. Yeah, like some states have those Good Samaritan laws where they say, you didn't stop to help these people. Yeah, because they would sue me, or for, you know, that's why people don't stop. To have the other end of it, it's like, hey, stupid decided to plow through a flooded tunnel thinking that, you know, he could do it with his Ford Explorer, and then goes right through. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, now we have to wait to get that car out before we can drain the tunnel and open up traffic
it's such
again.
a nightmare. Fuck that shit.
Casey in the chat saying, good truckers know that in these kinds of storms, you turn into the wind and you wait it out. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like, why, if you see this shit's happening, why aren't these trucks, and you see buses do it, why aren't the trucks just pull over to the side of the highway and just wait it out? Again, then we wouldn't have this
knocked over either way.
We wouldn't have this entertaining footage if they knew what they were doing here. Big Red Tower saying 30-mile-an-hour winds. Wind is where I start to feel uneasy. 80-mile-an-hour is like a sandblaster paint. That's what I was thinking too.
Gotta hurt.
The sand was igniting fires and blowing out windows, flipping tractor trailers. Imagine going outside. It's ripping skin off like a banshee. Continuing on.
There goes another one.
On I-27, up to 20 cars wrecked in this multi-vehicle pileup, barely visible against the dust. The wind fueling these grass fires, quickly spreading to homes as firefighters rush to the scene trying to save them. And in Oklahoma, the sky an eerie orange. Nearly 150 fires reported.
We saw it a couple years ago in New York.
Yeah, that's right. When Canada was having all those fires.
Yeah, and everything just turned orange. It looked like Mars.
Yeah,
Mexico filter.
Remember the one day where everything was bright orange and Diablo 4 had just come out and they had the electronic billboards? So the company, I don't know who puts out Diablo 4. Blizzard. So they had people in the city taking like professional shots and using that as promotional ads.
Do it.
It was perfect.
It was. It's like, look at our billboard. Look at the sky. It looks like hell in Manhattan. This is great. Our sales are going to go through the roof.
Fanned by fast-moving winds.
Yeah, the ambulances, fire trucks, everybody that comes to help, everybody is getting destroyed as they run in to try to do their job and help people. Moving on to tornadoes. We have a bunch of them. This one is in, where is this one here? Alabama. Tornado throws farm buildings into the air. Wow.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, everything looks like the Twister movie. Dorothy's flying! I do gotta hand it to the one person that always feels like they can just stand on their porch and film this. Like nothing's gonna swing in wild debris.
I mean, they keep surviving because these videos keep making it out.
That is true. Look at this here. So this is a school bus tossed against, destroyed a gym in Alabama by the tornado. So this whole facility was ripped apart, and look at the school bus. The whole front of the bus is ripped off as it's sideways in the building.
Oof.
Yeah, you can't fuck with this stuff.
No.
All right. Next up.
I went to a family reunion in Kansas once, and you could see, like, when you're going through some of the areas of Kansas, all these big, like, strip malls, and everything looks fine. But then you get past it, and you could see the entire back end was just taken out by a tornado. So it was like, it was just the amount of devastation those things can do. It's just ridiculous.
Not fun at all.
Nope.
All right. Next tornado is in, I don't know if we played this one or not, in Fort Lauderdale during spring break.
We may have, because isn't it the same one that the weatherman was making it all about himself?
No, this is different.
Different one. Okay.
This is a different one. Yeah, I forgot about that one. Yeah. That was the one in Orlando.
Gotcha.
Where they were watching it live on their their highway camera from their tower of the building.
It's coming for us.
And the camera froze. Like, Gittles, the tornado's hitting their tower, and the guy's yelling, it's like, can we move the camera around?
Can we zoom in?
It's a stationary camera. You couldn't move it even if the storm wasn't there.
Stupid.
Right?
Get this from another angle.
And he was out of breath, as if he was running a
because
marathon.
Remember, he was team lead for safety or something. He's like,
he was the
everybody get
safety
in the
monitor.
studio. Come on, under the desks. This was his time to shine. That douchebag. Anyway, so this is balcony footage as they're watching a tornado pretty much become a water spout and start ripping up a marina during spring break a few weeks ago. Look at this.
Power lines. Oh my god. Oh, that's for real.
You can always tell it's a TikTok video when they have the generic royalty-free beds that they put in there. They suggest, try these emojis. Use this filter. Here's a bed. So you see the tornado going through this area of Fort Lauderdale, ripping up
it's
Transformers.
Spring break, so I can't tell if the lights are a rave or the Transformers.
Yeah. Well, it's
There's the
daytime, so
Transformer.
you would assume it's the Transformers. At night, it's anybody's game. There's a lot of blue explosions happening.
I did like seeing the fire kind of roll its way up
cool.
that tornado for a second.
Right.
They got rid of the pool? Jesus Christ.
All right, so now it looks like it's dissipating, like it's breaking up a little bit.
Right.
But then it gets to the water, and then it fully reforms and changes color. Look at this.
I'm back.
He zooms in. Boom, there you go. It's sucking up the water, boats, everything in that marina.
That's crazy.
Oh my god, this is so scary.
I know. Are we going to go out for paella later? We got to get to the club.
I think the paella is going to come to us, guys.
It flipped that. I think that boat righted itself.
Did it?
Oh, no, it's called a rote. It wrote itself.
There's a guy flying through the air.
Is it done?
Yeah, they're getting annoyed. Like, we want to go do stuff. We have lives to live. Can this be done already?
Is this going to delay our Uber?
It's going to delay the Disney parade.
Now, this footage I want to show you, it's from a tornado that was happening in Indiana recently. I have some thoughts, not just about the tornado, but the people involved in this video here. Take a look. So it's an Indiana family is bringing their dog inside before the tornado rips through the backyard. The dog is in essentially a pen with some kind of canopy tent on top of it, locked in the pen.
Well, it's safe then.
Yeah, all right, you would think.
It's got a roof.
Okay. We're going to watch this, and then I'm going to have some questions for you here. Here we go.
How great would have been if the wind picked up that soccer ball and hit him in the head with it.
And here's the thing. When she was running out there, I'm assuming it's she the first person that was running out there. I was hoping that about halfway through, it ripped through and you could just see her fly off into the distance.
The
I was
dog
really kind of hoping for
doesn't.
that. Like, I'm going to go see this.
The dog jumps into the view of the cam in the house like the dog in Independence Day in the subway tunnel.
Yeah, the last second.
Yeah, like the dog jumps in, but the firewall's right behind him, right? But watch this. All right, so now they're all the dog people. They're all in the house. Now the wind's picking up. Here it comes. Tornadoes coming right through their backyard.
Sheesh. Wow, that just kind of came in real fast.
Yeah. The dog pen is gone. The shed next to it is gone. Somehow that grill is still up and running. Yeah.
The trampoline.
The white trash pool is still kind of half standing. All right, so we're watching the rest of this here. My question to you is this, all right? At the beginning, you know a tornado's coming, and it's this close. They just got into the house right as it's hitting. First problem, why didn't they have the dog in the house already?
Well, maybe that's where the dog hangs out. Maybe they just got home. Trust me, these things hit. I mean, you saw how fast it ripped through there. These things don't give you a ton of warning.
Okay.
You know, you hear that siren and it's like, okay, panic time. We got to figure things out. Where's Fifi?
All right. So the dog's out there.
First house it dropped on.
They're running out to get the dog in the pen, and that pen is not next to the house.
No.
That is maybe, 50, 60 feet away from the back door of the house?
Probably 35, 40 feet.
Okay. That's not a lady running out there. That's a kid.
Oh, that's a kid. Like, I thought it was just a short woman.
The kid ran out to get the dog. Now,
the dad probably hates the dog.
The dad probably hates the kid,
I put that out there
too.
for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. They probably both spent time in that cage. This was that kid's chance. He could have locked his dad in there and went back inside.
This video comes out. They go to interview the family. They find out the father's like a serial killer. There's bodies in the walls in the basement.
Yeah, exactly.
That was his murder shed. You could see all the implements of destruction.
That was all their clothes. It just blew over.
Can you imagine, though? He's sitting there going, ooh, the evidence is gone. Now I'm free and clear.
This is a very local story for Gittles and I. Gittles, remember Katie Beers?
Oh, yeah.
So, Jordan, the Katie Beers story was this girl who was at an amusement complex not far from where Brian and I lived called Spaceplex. It was in the Smithtown area?
It was like Smithtown,
Smithtown, Brookhaven. It was right near the Smithhaven Mall. This girl was kidnapped from this place by this guy, brought to his house. He had essentially a prison under his garage. That they never knew that there was a place under the garage or would have found her. She was in there, chained up on this bed, had monitors down there. She could watch the cops and everybody searching the house and everything looking for her. It's soundproof. It's underground. Nobody had any idea that there was even something to be suspicious of. The guy, yes, but they couldn't find any trace of anything to do with her. They leave. She's missing for days. And the only reason they found her is because the guy that kidnapped her wound up revealing that there was a hatch to get under the concrete slab of the garage. And that's how that she was found. Had he not said anything, they never would have found this girl. Probably never would have found this girl.
They interviewed him, and then he confessed to where this hatch was.
No, but days later.
Who did he tell?
I don't know why he wound up confessing, but it was days later. She was under there for a while.
Wow.
My thought, now I tell you that story because now I'm thinking the news talks to this guy, that dog pen, that slab under there's probably people under that thing that are seeing all of this stuff, and that's how they found him.
Sheesh.
Tom N writes in, they said she was missing for 17 days.
Yeah, on January 13th, 1993.
By a family friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, Esposito confessed to holding Beers captive and took police to the bunker where they rescued her. That is nuts.
So that's what I'm thinking. This guy's got bodies buried under the dog run there that they didn't find. But okay, so back to this. The kid runs out to get the dog during a storm. The father is coming out. As he's coming out, he's putting a jacket on because he's probably got yelled at by his wife saying, "What? Don't let him out there to get, or her to get out there to get the dog. You go out there and get the dog." So now he has to run out there because he should have done this in the first place. Now look, the kid gets the door open. You see how windy, everything's blowing around. It's not full tornado yet, but it's bad, right?
Right.
Opens the door, lets the dog run to the house. It's so windy. Shouldn't you have at least if you couldn't pick up the dog, grab the dog's collar?
That dog knows to get in the house.
That dog's hauling ass.
No, I understand that, but because of the wind, the dog could be anywhere from 35 to 50 pounds. With those kind of winds, could have
muscly.
Right. Grab the collar to lead the dog. Or if you can't pick up the dog, lead the dog back to the house. Because the kid's having a problem getting there. Look, the father is holding on to the kid so the kid doesn't blow away.
Yeah, but that dog has a low center of gravity.
Yeah, exactly. The dog's a way lower center of gravity. He's a little potato versus that kid who's like a fucking tower in an earthquake.
It's just sad that I was more concerned about the dog's well-being in this video.
Yeah, you should be. You should be. Because sometimes, certain kids
deserve it. Just say it, Eric.
I'm not saying. I mean, Gittles already said it. It's process of elimination. The weak get weeded out. I understand all of that, but anyway, I'm glad the dog's okay, and then the family is too.
Right.
Moving on, another tornado. That was Indiana. So this one is over in Missouri. So this guy's at a gas station and has the camera going as you watch.
Is this all the same tornado? That one from Florida?
Just running through the entire.
It's doing the
that would be hilarious
run across America.
Oh no, it's a serial tornado.
This tornado.
Twisters 3, the race.
This tornado has been terrorizing the country for 4 to 5 days, crossing state lines. Police are chasing it.
Jaws
or like Cannonball Run. Just tornadoes competing to get across the country.
Yeah, Sheriff Justice is just chasing it. This is from the same storm line. This is in Missouri. Because when you think tornadoes, you think, oh, I'll get under a gas station carport. That'll be safe.
Is this coming? Oh, it's here. It's here. Look at all that debris.
I can't, Bob.
Oh, my God. We are in a tornado.
Roll up the window, you asshole.
I forgot about that part. Yeah, he's like, I should roll up the window.
That's fucking funny.
That's the best.
That's the Cheeto in the doorstop meme. You know what I mean?
There's still more to go. But you're being under the carport of a gas station, not safe at all, because anytime you hear about tornadoes, it's always the gas stations that are ripped up.
And
2, you're next to a pump that can explode at any moment because of a tornado. So you're putting yourself in harm's way 3 or 4 times over with
We are in a tornado.
He's like, we're in a tornado. Oh, my window's down.
I gotta go get my chicken roller.
Yeah, look at that. He's like,
That may be the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Are you there? Is this coming? Oh, it's here. It's here.
I'm more concerned that those gas prices started with a 2.
Oh my God.
It's like when you go through the car wash.
Right.
Now it'll be fake if all of a sudden you start seeing the pink, green, and orange foam showing up on the window. Yeah. The red light for the hot wax.
Are you there? Is this coming?
Oh, is this just repeating over and over?
Yeah, I think it's repeating.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize it was.
I think it's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through one of those car washes and film it as if I'm going through a tornado and just submit it.
That'd be funny. Start screaming, the tornado's here!
Oh my God,
you see
it's here!
The flaps coming down the window. All right, let's move away from tornadoes and get into some good old-fashioned plane crashes.
Hooray!
This one happened a few weeks ago.
Literally a minute. No.
This was that plane crash that happened in Honduras. I don't know. Did we do this one too? Or did we not get to it?
I'd have to see the footage.
Okay.
We haven't done one
deadly
in
crash
a while.
happened sometime late last night, and authorities are saying this small plane crashed into the Caribbean Sea quickly after taking off from the Honduran island of Roatan. Take a look at these dramatic images, the video of the aftermath of this crash and the rescue effort that ensued shortly after. We know the Lanza Airlines plane took off from Roatan, which, is a huge local tourist destination, and we're told now it was heading to a port on the Honduran mainland when this crash happened. Mugo, officials are saying the aircraft sort of made a sharp turn to the right of the runway and then fell into the water. Police are saying there were 15 passengers who were on board the plane, also 2 pilots and a flight attendant. So we know now that 12 people were killed in this crash, and that also notably includes a popular Honduran musician, Aurelio Martinez. Rescue workers, again, in these images, we're seeing carrying survivors onto a stretcher onto this very rocky shore. They were taken to a nearby hospital, but at this point, Mugo, we do not have an update on their conditions. Last we heard from police, they are still searching for one more person who was on board that plane. As for what caused the crash, police are saying this was an apparent mechanical failure. And in response, the president there has now issued an emergency committee to respond to the scene immediately. And this includes some armed forces and firefighters who are there to try to help the victims on scene.
I'll tell you what that news report was. It started off with general information, and it's a stage manager saying, we're not ready to go to anything else, and there's just doing this.
I need you to vamp.
You just constantly vamp, stretch it out, do what you can. Big Red Tower saying the news reporter sounds like the Bitch I'm Bella Thorne song that we did last week. A lot of vocal fries. We should probably find an update, because I think that story is like 2 weeks old now. Hopefully they lived.
Those 12 people are still dead.
Still missing, even though they had them in the back of that boat, and we still can't find them. We misplaced them again. All right, moving on from there. There was I forgot, or I had the videos and I lost them. The Arizona had a storm where they had to have crashes because Texas had crashes. Yeah. But because of all the other disasters going on, Arizona, as we know, the ongoing storyline here is Arizona needs to find a way to put themselves. Marry themselves into a trending disaster that's going on somewhere in the country, somewhere in the world. Arizona has to marry themselves to that story.
Yep.
We saw tornadoes. We saw sinkholes, massive earthquakes, whatever. Arizona needed to have a bus crash.
Again, with the Fox 10 News alert out of Marana, you can see a school bus on its side, and that has closed both directions of I-10. DPS telling us that there are...
Now, first off, it's laying in the medium.
It's not where it started, trust me.
Oh, it's not? Oh, okay.
No, so in this particular crash, it was traveling in the far right lane, and the SUV that ended up causing it caused it to start swerving and cut over all the way to the left side and flip. So It didn't start there. It ended there.
Multiple injuries. This is near Marana. This is Tangerine Road, right on the outskirts of Tucson. Sky Fox flying over the scene. This is, again, Tangerine Road exit. That would be west of Tucson on the way to Phoenix. It would be one of the final kind of gateways into Tucson. The Kingman Unified School District tells us that students were traveling for an FBLA event and that there were no fatalities, but several students and a chaperone were taken to the hospital for treatment. We're working to find out more as we learn more.
Like a giant battery?
Air conditioning.
Telling us that there are...
Yeah, something we're not used to in the Northeast. They have air conditioning on buses, on schools.
And they just put the windows down.
The battery pack.
Several students and a chaperone.
Looks like a giant iPhone.
It does.
It's 4 cameras.
That's where the camera. Yeah, the bus pulls in and it's wireless charging for the bus.
Yeah.
Do buses still not have seatbelts?
No, not these ones.
Yeah, because I'm amazed that some kids were injured, but I'm amazed that almost all of them weren't injured or killed.
Well, and that's what worries me about these kinds of buses, because like my son, he goes to a charter school, and because they don't have bus service to and from the school, whenever field trips happen, they literally rent big charter buses, like the big ones with the seatbelts, and they're all happy and comfortable.
Right.
But you get the unified school districts like Kingman up north that have to travel in these. Yeah, they don't have seatbelts. I just read that one of the injured riders reportedly had to have their left hand amputated after the crash. Yeah. So, yeah, this happened in Marana, which is right. It's literally it was right down the street from when that the two small planes crashed in Arizona, that little airport. So this little stretch of area is getting a lot of run lately of the different disasters and crashes.
Do you think that kid who had his hand amputated or arm, whatever you just said?
It was a hand.
Do you think that they gave him all A's like when you're in college and your roommate dies?
No.
So, yeah, I know he's in 10th grade, but we're just going to let him graduate. He's good. Let him move on and start living his life.
Yeah, so I guess there was a... Good.
Casey in the chat saying this happened at like 1 p.m. just one exit north of where I am. I got stuck in this traffic at 8 p.m. We're getting those annoying cell phone warnings, like the weather warnings.
Yeah. I guess the motorist that caused this was in the silver SUV and was really, really high. And he told cops that he had smoked pot 2 days earlier, but he tested positive anyway. So he was impaired and he was causing issues. And
think he's gonna get in trouble?
$100,000 bond during his initial appearance, and yeah, he's gonna get in trouble.
Was Frank on the scene?
No, I mean it is. I think it was. I don't know. I think that's Pima County. We're in that area. I don't think it's Pinal County, so he wouldn't have been a part of it.
So you wouldn't see Frank reaching into the car with his hands, just dragging the guy out of there,
dragging the asshole, putting him in like the zip ties, like he did in the.
It's like, oop, hit the back of the protests. Car. Oop, hit the door to our car. Oop, he fell right in there.
Yeah.
Oh, horrible. Now, where you said this was near a previous crash that happened in Arizona.
Yeah. Marana is northwest of Tucson, and it's just southwest of me. So it's literally right between... It's probably about 45 minutes, 50 minutes away from me, give or take.
Right, but you said it was near that other plane crash, right?
Yeah, remember the two small planes that crashed at the small airport that didn't have like an actual radio tower?
Yeah, the plane that was just kind of drifting off the tarmac and hit a parked plane that was owned by Vince Neil and Molly Crew.
No, that was the one in Scottsdale.
Oh, that was
Arizona's trying to get in a lot of news lately. No, okay. Remember there was
they're trying. It
was like a small Cessna type plane that was it was like a training plane. So like they were learning how to fly, and then one of them hit the other, and then they crashed. And remember, it hit so hard it looked like it made a divot into the ground.
Oof. Yeah, I forgot about that one. Yeah.
Yep. So this one happened literally probably like an exit or two away from where that happened. So.
All right. Well, that is it for this week in disasters. And look, what we try to do is when we go into those deep, dark territories, this footage, the horrific stories that surround all of these things, we try to lighten the mood after doing so. And we try to make it a little nicer. Oops, that's the wrong background.
By talking all the celebrity guests.
Yes. So let's move on to some funnier things before we take a break and we get to our pal Dave Landau. Put together a little compilation of things for you first, but we're going to start off with a theme here of people getting hurt on slides.
I'm already into this.
Okay, so first up here is you got to start with
these kids bouncing around.
Yeah, well, here's a kid getting hurt on a slide.
Oh, I've seen this one.
That had a twist ending I didn't even expect.
Why'd you do that, Mom?
All right. So it's a giant, whole complex slide system at a playground. You're thinking,
it's a weird slide.
It's plastic, right?
Well, yeah,
or silicone, or something.
The way it's shaped is so eerie,
right? So it's shaped.
It looks like there's two hands at the bottom, like trying to grab you.
I think it's somebody's joke of a kid coming out of a birth canal.
I was gonna say,
right? So the kid comes down here, fine. But somehow, right as the kid successfully gets to the bottom of the slide, it's almost Monty Python-like. A football just comes out of nowhere, pegs the kid straight in the face. So the kid's stunned, yells ow, is about to start crying. Another kid came down the slide, is kind of laughing. Turns to the camera pans. The mom of the kid is walking a dog, is just walking over and openly laughing at her kid that's crying that got hit in the head with a football.
Funny.
How'd you do that, Mom?
Fantastic, right? All right, moving on. Let's now see some more pain involving a water slide, as this gentleman has a little too much momentum while on a water slide.
There you are.
Why would they build it like that?
Yeah, that looks like that hurts.
Yeah, I don't know why
There's no reason for that junction to
There's
exist.
no reason for that to be there.
It's a poorly designed.
Like it could just be like a one smooth piece, so that way, like if that does happen, you don't do that.
Or like highways. That's the on-ramp to the highway, so it's not running parallel with the highway. It should come from this way, then the water kind of turns and goes the other way, right? No, it brings it right back to the entry point to this slide here. Of course, we have to watch it again. And it's a water slide. It's not just him on the water. He's got a like a tube. Goes up a giant wall to slow down, but then builds more momentum to go the other direction. Hits the divider, lands on the divider. He falls into the slide, and the tube goes flying off there. But also, it's funny. Listen to the people, what the noises they make. That's this kind of
sucks now too, is that he's like stuck in that area because he has no momentum to get out.
Right.
So now he has to figure out how to get out of this like sort of pool of water
where the water's coming. More people are probably on their way coming down that ramp.
Yeah, he's
and
gonna keep dying.
He'll either get hit or he's going to drown from the momentum of the water. But the guys watching and filming this, they're going, oy, oy. It sounds like that lady who was stomping grapes and fell off the stage and had the wind knocked out of her and didn't know how to react with anything. So, yeah, that poor guy. All right. Now that Jordan's back here, I want to show you this montage.
Montage.
This is many videos, and it has a theme. I want to see if you can guess what the theme is as we watch this here. Starting off again with a water slide incident.
That does not look secure.
Nope. And it's also going into shallow water.
Like, it's not a wide pool.
Pick up your shoe.
Okay.
First of all, I like the stop for the next video for like that 2 seconds.
Ignore that. Wait for that. All right. So the first lady on this slide here, somebody bought a slide and just laid it down next to the side of an in-ground pool. It's not secured. It's not mounted. And as you see her go down the slide here into the water, that's the shallow end of the pool.
Well, I don't know. I don't think that's going to matter as much. She's not getting shot down like a torpedo.
No. But look, she landed in 2 to 3 feet of water. She landed right on her ass, and then you see her get up. She's hurt. As it pans down to her.
Pointing and laughing.
Look at her.
Like,
she hit her head. She busted her.
She probably went to the other side of the wall there.
She busted her tailbone. Well, no, she went feet down, so her ass hit, and then her head hit. So in the shallow area, it's poorly placed. And then as we see here, this rather large woman is going up on the slide and is leaning to the left doing the rockaway, apparently. Okay.
Like, I don't know. I think the girl in the back tipped her over.
Either way, the weight was disproportioned for keeping that thing going here. All right, we'll watch this and then we'll go to break.
That's a good green screen effect. Wait, that's an electric scooter.
I get it.
It's a guy with one leg trying to pretend like he's pedaling the scooter. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk with Dave Landau. And then after that, we are going to go into segment 2 with television, movies, streaming updates, all of that stuff for you to be aware of. And we'll do that. We'll be right back.
More It's Eric Nagel.
It's Eric Nagel.
Next. It's Eric Nagel. Follow the show on all social medias at It's Eric Nagel for ways to watch or listen to the show, both live and on demand. Go to itsericnagel.com. It's Eric Nagel.
It's Eric Nagel.
He is back.
Segment 2 of the show. Eric and Jordan here with you, telling you about television, movies, streaming updates, all of the stuff you need to be made aware of in one convenient place for you to check everything out and decide whether it's worth your time or not. As we start each segment, as we start the segment each and every week, we go around the room and talk about things we are watching, what we are doing. Jordan, we start with you. What are you watching?
I know we reported on this last week. I actually started watching the Simpsons live feed and just kept that on in the background and they had gotten so far into the seasons. I was watching episodes of the newer stuff that I had never watched before. Mm-hmm. And part of me felt like I was happy that I got to do it. But then the other part of it was like, and we're going to talk about, the renewal and stuff like that, where it's just like, I feel like I think it's starting to go a little long in the tooth. So it just kind of felt weird. Some of the newer stuff comparative to like what we grew up with and love all the way up to a certain point.
It's certainly, well, I mean, we can just get this part out of the way right now. So they announced that Disney, it's not Fox anymore. What is it? 20th? Is it Fox? No, it's Disney.
It's technically Fox. They owned Disney owns it. So Fox now goes, because Fox as a channel goes through as a terrestrial channel.
Right.
Hulu is what usually premieres all that stuff.
Fox, the television network, is owned by Fox. The programming is owned by Disney. Excuse me. They just announced that they re-signed The Simpsons for another 4 seasons.
Well, and here's the story. The Simpsons, Family Guy, Bob's Burgers were all renewed for 4 more seasons each, and American Dad is now officially returning.
Right.
So The Simpsons is now going for at least 4 more seasons.
Family Guy, American Dad.
Yep.
I kind of wanted the show to end, and I love The Simpsons, but the voice talent is aging so bad. I don't know if any of all of them are going to be around by the time we hit the next 4 years. I think they're just trying to get it to 40 at this point.
Yeah, because they're at season 36.
Yeah, the first season was 1989.
Yep.
So 4 years from now would bring it up to the 40th anniversary. So maybe that's what they're doing, and that's how it ends. But you can like Marge is aging poorly.
Yeah, Kavner just
her voice on that stuff. Harry Shearer doesn't want really anything to do with it. His stuff sounds different. If you watch that show with headphones, you can hear the different room tones from their voices because they're not in studio to record with each other, and it's I don't know. It's just not worth keeping it going. Same with Family Guy. It's the same jokes, and I haven't watched American Dad in forever, but people swear by American Dad, saying it's funny. And it's still good.
It was funny the first couple seasons, but like after that, I stopped caring. Same with the Family Guy. It just became the same joke over and over and over. And it's like, okay, he's going to fight the chicken again. Great.
Frankie Bronson in the chat saying, do the Simpsons get to make fun of Disney like they used to make fun of Fox? Well, they used to make fun of Fox when on Fox, and they made fun of Disney before Disney owned it. They still do. They make specials about Star Wars, about Disney properties, and they shit all over Disney.
Yeah.
For it.
No, I think Disney was smart to let them still have that reign to
it's encouraged. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So I've been watching that. Daredevil, I think we're up to episode 8?
7, 8? 7. Yeah, I caught up. I watched it last night.
I like the show. I really do. I don't feel like they Disney-fied it. I know the original run used to be on Netflix. Now it's on Disney. I don't think they're holding back. I mean, the language is still rough. I think the violence is still there. Some things kind of bother me where they introduce a character that I feel like can last a little bit, and that character goes away. So I'm sure there's a larger story arc that we're seeing, and I know they're filming season 2. I just, sometimes I kind of want to see characters return instead of, you kill them off or whatever,
No,
so,
I get it. But we
like
still
it.
have characters
really
that aren't developed yet because when Fisk was at that upper tier, like the New York elite party, the swordsman was there talking to him, and we last saw him in the Hawkeye series.
Right.
And he's there telling Fisk that he's like, you'll never be one of us if we have anything to do with it. We control the city, not you, whatever. I think the Muse has something to do with either the swordsman or some of those other people up there that were trying to purposely railroad Fisk, or maybe they're leading to something bigger. But I think those people need to be explored more, which I know they will. And I'm enjoying it so far.
I am too. I think what you're going to see is that Fisk is suffering under the bureaucracy of being mayor when he knew he can get a lot of stuff done as the bad guy. And now he's dealing with the red tape when it comes to being the mayor. And he's slowly starting to peel that mask back off to be the original Wilson Fisk, whereas you're kind of seeing Daredevil wanting to shy away from that persona. And as the season, the episodes kept progressing, he's finally giving in, saying, this is just as a part of me as being, Matt Murdock. And you're finally seeing that come back, which is kind of cool because the first 4 episodes, it was literally like a courtroom drama, which I think was fine. Like, I think it worked. But now you're kind of saying this is going to be.
They had to, because you couldn't have Fisk come back after that terrible Echo series, where he was shot and everything else going on, to walk right into Daredevil like nothing happened. So if he had something catastrophic and larger than his own storyline happen, they had to do something for Matt Murdock. So they kill Foggy, and then he goes into I can't be Daredevil anymore, which competes with Fisk can't be Kingpin anymore. I keep calling him
Pinfield.
Fisk can't keep being Matt Pinfield in I'm going to do that now. That's what I'm calling them. So now they're both coming out. It's like, oh, if he's back, I get to be back. That's where we're at now. And I think it's fine. I think it's going good.
I'm like I said, I'm enjoying it. I would like to see characters develop a little bit more than getting those quick little runs. I understand White Tiger has a different character arc because of eventually who that character becomes. I think Muse, it could have been way more fun. I'm excited. I'm enjoying it. That's I'm not criticizing it that much. And then I haven't really been watching a ton of stuff, but what I have been listening to is there's this band that put out a new album, and this band is called Bloodywood. And what's cool about them is
I'm not playing it, but I'll tell you why.
No, we're not gonna play it. God, we don't want to get sued. It's a new metal band from India. So some of it's in English, but some of it is in like Hindi.
Oh, damn it.
And it's super good. There's one song that they do called Tolka. And it's literally singing about
their song Tolka.
Yeah, the Kenosha Kickers. It's a song about eating. It's a song about food and making food, but it's like really heavy and it's in English and part of it. But what they're talking about is gathering people to your family, welcoming them into your home, how like grandma would make these big feasts and you would get the good food. And it's such a cool band and it's such a cool song. I'm actually thinking of going to go see them live in July here in Arizona. But yeah, I've been kind of listening to that lately. I think what I'm going to start doing is peppering in like new bands and music that I'm listening to, and check them out, man. They're super good.
Nope, that's fine. I'm seeing their videos here.
It's awesome. They're great. And I think either the drummer or one of the guitar, I think the drummer might be missing like 3 fingers. He got in an accident. So he's like,
not quite Def Leppard, but they're living the gimmick. I get it.
Yeah, no, but they're super good. Like they're really fun.
I want to. Well, you got a fan in here, Pat Moore, saying Bollywood rules.
Sure.
Apparently,
yeah, they are.
I just want to take a quick detour since you're talking about music. What was the Korean band you introduced me to last week on the show?
La Seraphim.
So we featured them.
Yes,
we played a song. We watched some of the video and heard some of the music. Now, for the produced version of the show, because of copyright and stuff, we usually have to limit that stuff. Sometimes things have to be pulled all together. Other times we can chop it down enough that it's deemed acceptable by fair use or review and what have you. So I did the same thing for that. Everything that we normally did, it got flagged within an hour. So I was like, what? That fat? All right. So I went through, I did the whole appeal. I mean, the thing you go through, had our legalese that I pasted in, explained what it was. I send my dispute. That's what it was. Couple hours go by. They ignore the dispute. They still want full value of everything coming from that episode. So I'm going to appeal because I said that thing is chopped up so much that it's no way the original song. We're talking over stuff. I muted things. I cut things. I did a total hatchet job on it, right? Mm-hmm. Send the whole thing back, explain everything. I go, I understand if you want to do a rev share or something like that. It's like preventing the entire episode from not receiving anything, I said, is unrealistic.
Right.
I went to bed. And that was like, when did I file that appeal? Like 2, 3 in the morning?
I think you had called me Monday night with that information. So this was, like not long.
Right.
And you did it late. Like Sunday
I woke
night.
up hours later and I see that they are legally flagging the episode. And if we did not remove it, that YouTube was going to get involved and strike down the entire channel. And I went, this is way too fucking harsh for what the thing was, right?
Right.
And all the stuff that we have through lawyers and everything else is all the same verbiage and presentation that review channels, reaction channels use, right? All their tricks and tips and whatever. And I have that stuff there. I go, they should at least do a rev share thing with it, not fully block the entire thing. They went so far to say they were pressing legal action with YouTube. And that YouTube said if I did not remove this within 6 days or something like that, that the whole channel was getting knocked down.
It's overkill.
So I go and I research the company that's representing this group in the song. And it's a company called, I think it's called Hybe.
Yeah, I think that's what you were telling me.
And I go, okay, it's out of, they have offices in Korea. They have offices in Japan because, the bands and the artists that they represent makes sense. Oh, wait, they have an American office. So if they have an American headquarters, that does not mean that they can ignore American law then. Because if they're a foreign country, they're somewhere else and they have no jurisdiction in the United States, certain things they can't strike you for, but other times they can because they don't have to, American laws and regulations have to apply for this stuff. So I find out they have an American office. They have American headquarters, which means they legally have to abide by American regulations. I send an email to the Korean office, which got nothing. I go through America. You know who owns and runs the American office?
No.
Scooter Braun. Do you know that name?
Douche. Yes.
Yeah.
It's the Taylor Swift asshole.
Yeah, but apparently I read up on there's so many other artists. We had years ago Madison Beer on our show. You know who she is?
Yeah.
Pop singer. She's not at that upper echelon of pop stuff yet, but she's been around for a while. She does a lot of stuff. She got fucked over by this guy. There's a whole list of artists that wound up leaving this guy because of this asshole. So Scooter Braun, his office, were the ones that were filing this thing through the American office. And I go, I don't want to pay for a lawyer, but I sent a legalese type letter over to them. And it's like, you can't open, and I sent it to YouTube too, you can't openly ignore American law because you don't want to do, because you just don't give a fuck about this thing. It has to go through a process before YouTube tells me that I have to take it down or I have to do something. And we always edit that stuff so that it fits. It's what's the term?
Is it transformative?
Yeah, there's transformative content, but within compliance.
Got it.
Of their policies and stuff. We've never had that problem ever.
Not to this extent. Like, we've had people say, well, you got to take it down. Then you send your thing and they're like, oh, okay, you're right.
The only thing we had a problem with was when we were watching that MMA pay-per-view. We played clips of where the guys and the men and the women were fighting each other in an MMA style match over in Romania. So that got flagged. But we could still use the audio if I blurred out the video and all that other shit, and it was perfectly fine. We did everything here. And stupid Scooter Braun's office is ignoring American law, and it's like, we don't give a fuck. Take it down or we're suing you for this thing. It's like, wow. You have an artist that nobody in this country gives a shit about. And anybody taking interest, you should be, especially when you have a radio component. I could play it on the radio, it's fine. But for
it's the same thing when we play trailers. We get flagged for trailers. Like, these are commercials for your movie.
Yeah, it's free airing of your commercials. Yeah.
You're getting free press, as it were, and yet you're still trying to copyright strike. Like, what the hell do you want?
Right.
Like, what are these trailers for at this point?
So, and also in that letter, it stated that we made changes. We are bastardizing their content to re-put it up there within YouTube's regulations and guidelines. I am not removing anything else, and we are not removing it from the broadcast version. Have not heard back from them on that. I would love if I got a lawsuit or some kind of legalese notice. I keep saying legalese like that's a real term. But, get some kind of anything that I have to sign for, served, whatever. I would love to do this shit. Now, look, I know Taylor Swift's whole thing was completely different.
Let's just redo the entire episode, but then we're good.
But for somebody who was not I wasn't anti-Taylor Swift. I just don't listen to a lot of her stuff. I like a couple of things. Now, if it purposely fucks with that guy, I'll be a full-time Swiftie on this stuff, just to spite that asshole. Not that it's going to mean anything in the bigger schemes. He gives zero fucks. I understand that.
Right.
But every notice I've sent back to that company, that Hy-Vee company, is now just a digital fuck you to them. And let's see what they do. But the episode got edited. You could go and watch it. It's up on our YouTube channel. You can see the changes we made. I left our commentary over the songs because fuck them. What are they going to do at that point? It's so far removed from their original property that they can't claim anything. So I just wanted to throw that out there since you were talking about music. Now we know that Jordan is on a timeout from introducing new music to the show unless it's screened for ahead of time.
I'll introduce it, but you got to do your own homework. Eric can't play it.
Correct. All right. For me, I haven't been, I caught up on Daredevil. I still need to watch Righteous Gemstones.
Right.
And I have to catch up. I think I'm 2 or 3 weeks behind on White Lotus.
I got to watch Shores.
Everything I've seen online is everybody saying nothing is fucking happening on that show. Yeah, so I don't think I'm missing anything. It's just people walking around like, oh, I hope this doesn't happen. And then nothing happens. So I'm not missing out on any of that stuff. I've been playing video games. I've been Phasmo, Sea of Thieves, and Repo. I've been playing a lot.
Yeah, I'll be trying to grab that this weekend.
Not fun to play, even though it's available to play as a single player. Not really that fun to play as a single player.
I was about to say, I'm going to go buy it. And you're like, it's not fun to play. I'm like, well, fuck.
No, it's great to play. You need more people to play the game.
Gotcha,
it's a lot of fun if you have a group of people. Solo playing, not so much fun.
Gotcha.
In fact, takes a lot longer doing it solo. What else? That's about it. All right, let's get to what's out right now in theaters. Luckiest Man in America. That's the movie about the documentary about the guy that scammed Press Your Luck in the game show industry.
No whammies, no whammies.
No whammies. And the guy
that's Goggins on that one.
The guy who's playing the man who was the contestant is also in the Naked Gun movie.
Yeah, Paul Walter Hauser.
Yeah, he's I know the guy's name, Kennedy. He was like Drebin's chief, right?
Yeah, Norberg was the other guy.
Norberg was the partner, but the other big guy that would Frank, you shouldn't be doing that. That guy. He plays his son on there. So check that out. Funny. Minecraft with Jack Black, a Jack Black joint, is available because apparently he's the only guy that can do video game movies and other stuff. Now, I think, isn't he in the
Borderlands? And that sucks.
Yeah, so, the Borderlands movie too.
Run of it.
Yeah.
Like Jumanji was like a fluke.
So we have that, and then Hell of a Summer, which I'm not familiar with.
It is a horror comedy starring Finn Wolfhard. It's about like camp counselor and he's feeling out of touch with like teenage coworkers, and then there's like a murderer. It's an old school looking a good slasher movie. I doubt it's good, but I'll check it out. Gittles will watch it.
Over on Amazon Prime Video, The Bondsman. Who stars in that?
Kevin Bacon plays a demon hunter.
Ooh.
It looks really fun. So it just came out. I don't know if they dropped all the episodes. It's Amazon. They usually just drop all the episodes. So that's out now. That one looks interesting. I love Kevin Bacon. I'm looking right now. And yes, so 8 episodes up there for you. So it basically is a murdered bounty hunter is resurrected by the devil to trap and send back demons that have escaped from prison of hell.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I just added that. I saw a lot of this shit online, photos from, I guess Netflix had this premiere for this show in actual theaters
cool.
out in the California area. And no, I think that was it. LA and San Francisco, I think, were the only areas that had
probably.
it. For this animated series called Devil May Cry. I don't know much about anime stuff, but...
Yeah, but this is based off the video game. So did you ever get to play the video game Devil May Cry about Dante? And okay. So yeah, it's based off the video game where this guy Dante, it's pretty much like the Bondsman. He's out killing demons and killing stuff. So I don't know for sure if it's the same company that did the Castlevania series, but Netflix has been doing a good run of adapting stuff to animation.
Okay.
Doing anime style things. I know that Evanescence debuted a new song on the soundtrack for this. So they've been hyping that up. So Evanescence putting out new music for Devil May Cry. So yeah, that's what's on Netflix on that one.
All right. And available on video on demand for your kids. Paddington in Peru. Who knew that people still watch those?
I don't know. Everyone keeps saying the second movie was the greatest movie ever. And I honestly care.
Dante based on Divine Comedy. Did I click that by accident for some reason?
I
don't know. All right. Thank you, Frankie. Next week coming out on Netflix, April 10th, Black Mirror Season 7. We forgot to watch that trailer, but they would probably flag us because why promote anything that they put out?
Right.
Next week is also The Road to WrestleMania.
Oof.
Big deal. There's a new WrestleMania documentary coming out on Peacock on April 11th. They have the original WrestleMania documentary where it shows how Vince came up with this idea. They were going to do this supercard pay-per-view thing at Madison Square Garden. He mortgaged the company, his own house, all his family stuff, that if WrestleMania didn't succeed, like the whole company was doomed and they would have lost everything. This is another WrestleMania documentary about WrestleMania 9. Are you familiar with WrestleMania 9?
That's not the one that was in Montreal, was it?
No, that was 6. WrestleMania 9. No, 6 was Toronto. WrestleMania 9 was the one where they did it outdoors for the first time in Las Vegas.
Oh, gotcha.
They did the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace. So this one's called WrestleMania 9 Becoming a Spectacle documentary. It's about them tinkering with the idea. It's like, let's take it out of arena and make it so elaborate and celebrities and
big,
all this nonsense. And this was another thing that was going to be make or break for the company. Because if this didn't succeed, they were going to be a laughing stock, and they invested so much money in all this stuff. Plus, It was the surprise return of Hulk Hogan. Nobody expected him to be back, and this was like for his last run before he left for WCW. This was a success for them, but then it would be decades later before they started doing outdoor WrestleManias again. Now, WrestleMania, you can't have it in an arena. It's too big.
I was going to say, wasn't it last year? It was in Philadelphia, right? It was in the
last year was in Philadelphia. Stadium. This year's in Vegas in that big giant football stadium that they made out there. They've had in New York, in Orlando, Miami. All the football stadiums would have that. It's so big. They pack at least 80,000 people into WrestleMania now.
Yeah.
So much
and they do it over a couple nights too.
Well, yeah. A few years ago they had to make it 2 nights because it was too big.
Yeah.
So you have the WrestleMania 9 documentary coming out April 11th. Then on the 13th, the 19th and the 20th is WrestleMania's night 1 and 2, which will be available in the United States on Peacock. I believe it's on Netflix everywhere else because the WWE network went away. And Netflix is now carrying everything for WWE outside of the United States. Also next week in theaters, Drop, The Amateur, and The Last of Us Season 2 starts next week. So we have that. Okay, let's fly through the news here because we need to get out of here.
All right, so I brought this up just because it's just hilarious that this keeps happening. The streaming channel Max, used to be Cinemax, used to be Max Plus, whatever it was, merged with HBO Go, decided to drop the HBO portion of it and become Max. They changed the colors.
The worst cable channel that they had. Cinemax
Sure.
was a sex joke.
Yeah.
And nobody watched shit on there.
So this past week, they changed their logo again to a all-black background with white lettering reminiscent of HBO Go. So once again, they're just throwing shit against the wall. I like the content on that channel. I just hate that they're so stupid with everything that they're handling.
Warner Brothers is terrible. They've botched everything the last several years. Make it HBO again. Call it HBO Max again, HBO whatever, but HBO is the name that sells everything. Even if not that many people are buying the cable channel through their cable outlets anymore, they're still watching it. HBO shows still are winning all kinds of awards, still have a lot of views. Bill Maher, Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. White Lotus is another thing, even though the show's kind of sucking right now, but people watching. Righteous Gemstones, they still do their football stuff during football season. HBO is still alive and well, branded as HBO.
Yeah,
who
it just
cares?
makes more sense.
So dumb. And also Warner Brothers being terrible, as we mentioned last week, got rid of all the Looney Tunes stuff.
Gone.
They put out a Looney Tunes movie that they didn't promote, got rave reviews from the audience. Everyone who went to see this thing loved it, said it felt like old-fashioned Looney Tunes, jokes, violence, all of that stuff there. It was called The Day the Earth Blew Up, I think is the name of the movie. Loved it. Promoted it nowhere. Still no promotion for it. No ads, nothing. When that movie went out, they took the entire archive off the fucking service.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers just keeps making weird and terrible decisions. Coyote versus Acme, what was it? Coyote versus Acme. We said last week, got picked up by a different distributor. The movie will finally get released. Apparently it's very good. And that was because it was during the time when Warner Brothers thought, we got away with defaulting on Batwoman and claiming a loss and got insurance on that thing. We'll do it to some of these other properties to try to save money. And then the federal government had to step in and say, that's a one and done.
Yeah, they were setting a very dangerous precedent for companies to be able to do that. You can't do that.
We're allowing that $90 million for Batwoman.
But you imagine you were like an actor that signed a deal that you were going to get royalties on the back end with promotional stuff, toy tie-ins, especially with a
DC property
like this, and any residuals. And they said, no, we're not going to do it. And it's scrapped. Like, there goes your money. Like, you got
Coyote versus Acme and a few other things were all falling victim to, we're just going to chop it and claim insurance on it. And then that got stopped. So the property sat dead in the water. It's like, well, we'll just take the loss then. Rather than put it out and try to recoup anything, ever since that guy from Discovery took over when the companies merged, it's been downhill for Warner Brothers.
Sandoz, I think his name is.
Here's another reason how Warner Brothers and HBO Max and everything got so bad. They bundled Max with competitor bundles.
Disney.
I switched last year. I switched the Disney bundle that I had. I dropped the package that had ESPN Plus because I don't watch anything sports related. So why did I need that? Switched it over to HBO, to Disney Plus, Hulu, HBO Max. Same price, ad free, all of that stuff there. They have HBO Max bundled with Netflix. You can get that, I think, through Verizon and some other places. They have HBO Max bundled with Prime through other things. So you're the one company that should be a standout. Like, you'd think that's some kind of shit Paramount would do,
Yeah. And Paramount's.
Or Apple TV. Or what are the lesser ones that no one gets? AMC
Plus.
Stars. I see that ad on Instagram all the time. Stars is only $3.99. It's like,
they beg people. I've got like $2 a month for the next 6 months through Amazon.
Right, but
it's cheap.
You would expect it from those. Even Shudder, as popular as Shudder is not making the money as the other streaming services do. But you could see Shudder partnering with like a Netflix or Prime or something like that. Not HBO Max. And that's what they did. Everything Warner Brothers has done in the last decade has been a disaster.
Yeah, every year something new.
All right, moving on. CinemaCon happened. What was going on there?
So we got some quick news, and then we got some stories I'll go into. So the quick news is basically this. Sunrise on the Reaping is the next Hunger Games movie. It's coming out in 2026. They're still making those. The Beatles, they're making 4 movies about the Beatles. So they've announced that cast, and it's coming out in 2026. Final Destination Bloodlines is coming this year, September 2025. They released the trailer. It's out now if you want to check that out. It's going to be the last actual role for Tony Todd. I know he's got a speaking part in the Indiana Jones game I'm going through, but yeah, this is his last on-screen appearance.
So you'll see him there, but you don't see him in the memorandum for the Oscars.
Yeah, no, who cares? They don't care about him. They did an extended preview of James Gunn's Superman movie. They are going to be playing it ahead of the Minecraft movie screenings. I seen the footage. I saw the trailer. It still looks dumb to me. There's a scene where he gets pulled into his Fortress of Solitude and these robots pick him up to go help him with getting some yellow sun to heal him. And at one part, he thanks the robots, and the robots, who I think is Alan Tudyk, goes, "You don't need to thank us. We have no emotion, which means we don't need gratitude." And then he looks over at another robot who just is a new robot, and she gets gushy that he looked right at her. I'm like, okay, so which is it? You don't have emotions, or you're fucking, into Superman checking you out? It's I'm already hate this movie, and it's not out until July. So they showed that. I'm already over the dog. I'm tired of crypto. Like, you just fuck off.
Right.
They did an extended look of the new Jurassic World Rebirth. They put the new logo out. That also comes out around the same time.
Don't care.
This is another one. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 arrives exclusively in theaters this December. The first movie did gangbusters. It released in the theater and streaming.
Was the first one in theaters or just on Peacock?
They released it in theaters and Peacock simultaneously, and people were so in wanting to see this movie in the theaters that it made a ton of money. Like, it broke records.
So it was a reverse Morbius.
Correct.
Okay.
So it did better in the theater, and then people went home and watched it again, and there was people seeing multiple viewings. So
gotcha. Okay.
Second one comes out this year. How to Train Your Dragon live action remake. The second trailer went down. The sequel has already been announced for 2027. So they're making a sequel to a movie that hasn't released yet. They showed footage of Wicked Part 2. Who cares? The first one is streaming on Peacock. I probably do not want to watch it.
I just had to write down Five Nights at Freddy's because I forgot I didn't watch that movie.
It's not terrible. The next James Bond film is said to be a, quote, a fresh, exotic new chapter, which means Black Bond, most likely. That's what a fresh and exotic
Woman
means.
Bond.
Ooh, there we go. Moneypenny is a dude. Scream 7, Sonic 4, and The Legend of Aang, The Last Airbender are all coming in 2026. They showed off new footage of Avatar, Fire and Ash. People are gushing over it. I am so tired of these Avatar movies. I didn't like the last one. It's always way too long, and no one cares.
Wait, is this the Oh yeah, these
James
are the Cameron
Cameron
ones. Not what's the animated Avatar?
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Airbender, right? Okay.
Yes. Predator: Badlands. They released some of the story footage of what this is going to be, and apparently the Predator is the hero. So they're flipping the script. The Predator is not a bad guy in this movie. He's going to be the good guy.
The Predator is the new James Bond.
It is weird and exotic, so that'll be good.
I kind of would like that. He turns and you just see the triangle lights.
The red dots coming at you.
Yeah.
That would be cool. And then they just showed off first footage of Tron Ares, and they showed off the light cycles, but in the real world. So that should be interesting. So those are the quick highlights of CinemaCon. Some of the other stories. Disney's Tangled live action movie is going to not go forward right now. Apparently, it has been put on pause, according to studios, because the Snow White movie did so incredibly bad that they're pausing it.
No, it didn't. You saw them post all the 4 reviews that said it was fantastic.
It was great. Snow White only grossed $69 million domestically and $145 million worldwide on a production budget of $270 million. The film was plagued by controversies, and I think Disney quietly fired Rachel Ziegler from any future projects, so she's kind of been out of there.
I hope this is an example to other studios to see how she acts in public and things that she says. That should be part of your, I think, at least with Disney, I thought that was part of your agreement. Is like, you will not disparage the properties. You will not say these kind of things.
I would think so. So Beyond the Spider-Verse, the sequel to the two other Across the Spider-Verse movies, is going to come out in 2027, which, God, that seems so far away from when the last movie hit. But everyone keeps telling me how the story is supposed to go. Miles Morales says in the footage, I'm going to do my own thing. The release date is one of much speculation after it fell off the release calendar back in 2023. It was supposed to come out this year, actually about a week ago on March 29th, 2024. So I think the strikes ended up happening. It pushed everything back, and now it's going to come out 3 years after its initial release date. So other Spider-Man news, Tom Holland came out in a video and announced that Spider-Man 4's new title is called Brand New Day. It's going to be directed by the Shang-Chi director Destin Daniel Cretton. He took the stage and he copped just losing money at the roulette. To say it's an honor to be standing on the stage is a pretty big understatement, he said. He explained that it was a lifelong fan of the character and has been drawn to Peter Parker's humor and messy humanity. The title reference is to the 2008 storyline that takes place after a universe-altering event in which everyone forgot who Spider-Man was. This is also a very controversial storyline because it ended the marriage of Peter Parker and Mary Jane. It's also one that comic book geeks hate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they hate this storyline in the comics.
Because this is where... All right.
Here we go.
Get a little deep with this.
Mm-hmm.
What happened in the... not Brand New Day. What was the previous story that everyone hated? What's the exact title? One Day?
I believe it was One Day.
One Day, something like that.
I'll look it up.
That storyline can borrow. They're going to borrow something from that storyline and bring it to Brand New Day. And what I think that's going to do. One More Day. Is that's where Mephisto was involved with Spider-Man. Correct. And that whole storyline where he wished or he worked the deals that people would forget about him and all of that shit that happened, which has already happened. Because of Doctor Strange, House of Madness or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
March Madness. Right?
Oh, March Madness.
Yeah, Doctor Strange.
It was the last Spider-Man movie with Doctor Strange in it.
Right, but it started with the madness. The Doctor Strange 2 came into No Way Home.
Yeah,
that whole thing happened. So they used Strange instead of Mephisto for that story part. Brand New Day is probably, because everybody's been saying for like almost 8 years now, oh, the Mephisto's showing up. That would be the way to introduce him. I don't know how they work that in, but that might be the way.
Yeah.
Unless Secret Wars is going to do it.
Again, I always feel Mephisto would be better served introduced into like a Ghost Rider story, or you bring him into Midnight Suns, where you got Blade and all the horror type stuff. You can bring in the Werewolf by Night guy.
Well, you don't have Blade happening anymore because apparently they're scrapping that movie now.
Yeah,
that Blade's not going to happen.
Yeah, so there's that. They showed Fantastic Four footage at CinemaCon. The Marvel Studios boss started his spiel by noting that his team is mere days away from principal photography on Avengers Doomsday.
What does that mean, principal photography? Does that mean just like promo photos?
No, probably just starting off some of the main stuff. Principal photography is usually like pre-viz, special effects, all that stuff. Like they've probably already built sets. They've got footage, like they've got costuming and they got all that stuff. I think principal photography is just the actual filming of the movie.
Okay.
Post-production. So the trailer that they showed, which is not going to be released online, Reed Richards and Sue Storm learn that they are expecting a baby, leading to a conflicted reaction. We can do this, the Invisible Woman says.
Wait, who was... I'm getting confused here. Who was Reed Richards' kid?
He ends up...
Wasn't it Doom? No, not Doom.
No. Kang. It's a version of Kang.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah. So, in like a future version of Kang is actually... Reed Richards' kid.
Yeah, Doom was like he went to college with Reed Richards.
Doom was like,
right?
I think maybe in the comics that's true, but yeah, in the Fox movie, he was like a college buddy that went a different route, and that's who he is. In the trailer that they showed, the team battles threats from Galactus. Invisible Woman remains resolute. We will face this together, she says in the trailer. We will fight it together as a family. Then in the film, Reed Richards notes in a press conference to a worried populace, we will protect you. And then the footage ends with the Silver Surfer going by, played by Julia Gardner. So they showed off
her.
Silver Surfer.
If you're not familiar with her, she won Emmys for the Ozarks on Netflix.
Yeah, good show. She's the one yelling like, if you want me, you gotta fucking kill me or something like that. She's a good actress. I still don't like the idea of a female Silver Surfer, but
they released her photo. I can't find it anywhere.
What, you want to see what she looks like? They didn't show it.
You just said they
didn't show it. They said they're not releasing the footage right now.
Oh.
It's all just describing what just happened. So Ice Cube is making a Friday sequel again at Warner Brothers and New Line. He just inked a deal with Warner Brothers and New Line to write and reprise his role as Craig Jones in Last Friday, the fourth entry of the comedy Friday, Next Friday, and Friday After Next.
I do enjoy that franchise.
I love that franchise.
I also enjoy his other franchise, Barbershop.
Barbershop's great. I even liked Beauty Shop with Queen Latifah.
I did too.
Didn't hate that.
Did you see the AI work with Ice Cube that went around the last couple days?
Was it the still photo of the three of them drinking iced tea?
It's Mr. T, Ice T, and Ice Cube all drinking Arnold Palmer's.
Yeah, so it was like Mr. T drinking iced tea with Ice T and Ice Cube.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like, all right, that's a good one. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is coming out with a follow-up movie with Brad Pitt starring. David Fincher.
I never finished that movie. Jesus.
Well, it's 9 hours long. How would you not?
No, because that's the movie where the projector burnt up. And
that's right.
I gotta pull that story too. I know Tom wrote it down for me. The projector burnt up right at the scene where Leonardo DiCaprio is in his kitchen making margaritas.
Yeah.
And he's about to go out the pool, and then somebody's walking a dog, and you see the van driving up, like the Manson hippies.
You're right at the end. Like,
that's
you
where
missed the last like 30 minutes of the movie.
That's where the movie ended, and I never went back to watch it.
Oh, that's terrible.
I got to go do that.
So they're making a follow-up. Quentin Tarantino is going to write it. David Fincher is going to direct it. Brad Pitt, possibly Leonardo DiCaprio, coming to reprise their roles. Tarantino wrote the script for the feature project, which is set up now at Netflix and would go before cameras before late summer. Now, the news about this dropped on April 1st, which, if you know anything about the internet, anything dropped on April 1st, you can't believe it. People were mad that this was even put out there.
Well, the thing I dropped on April 1st was legit.
And so it's not a joke. It's technically not going to be a sequel either to Once Upon a Time, but a derivative that takes inspiration from it. So I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to mean, but whatever.
Right.
And now, all the John Wick news. John Wick 5 is set with Keanu Reeves, with director Chad Stahelski.
Wait a minute, isn't Ballerina coming out this year?
Yeah, so we're getting Ballerina this year. John Wick 5 is officially moving forward.
June 7th. Yeah, in theaters.
Keanu Reeves and director Chad Stahelski are both back for the feature following the previous installment, which ended with the, spoiler alert, death of John Wick. Lionsgate is developing the movie with Thunder Road producers. Keanu, Chad, Basil, Erica would not return unless they had something truly phenomenal and fresh to say about these characters and this world. Fogelson said, "We can't wait for audiences to see where the journey takes us next. It's important to get the story right and give John the story the proper next step. It's exciting to take the first step on that road." I don't know how they do it. He's dead, whatever, but we're getting another John Wick, and I'm excited about that.
Well, it says it takes place prior to the first movie.
Why would it take... No. Not that one. Stop reading ahead. Hold on.
Okay.
John Wick sets
I'm not reading your thing. I'm looking online. Okay.
John Wick's getting an animated prequel with Keanu Reeves.
Oh, it's animated.
So John Wick is going to do an animated prequel, kind of like how they did with the Animatrix. He's expected to voice the character with longtime John Wick producer Chad Stahelski. He's also behind the project. The new film will take place prior to the events of the first John Wick movie starring Keanu Reeves from 2014. The new project sees Wick completing the impossible task of killing his foes in a single night to fulfill his obligation to the High Table. In both animation and the world of John Wick, the possibilities are endless, Fogelson said, and there is no John Wick story fans are clamoring for more than the impossible task. Shannon's take on that story is an incredible one, and we are beyond excited to see what John Wick does in animation. So we're getting John Wick 5, we're getting a prequel to John Wick, and we're also getting a direct spinoff of the blind assassin Kane, played by Donnie Yen. So Donnie Yen, they finally found out, they've announced it a while back, but they kept trying to figure out who was going to direct it. Well, they finally got their director, Donnie Yen. So Donnie Yen is
much more Johnny Wick stuff coming.
Yo, yeah. So we're getting a show with Donnie Yen, directing Donnie Yen, and he said he's going to direct it in the style of his previous like Hong Kong type movies. So we're going to get probably a more Asian centric Hong Kong style.
He's Asian.
So yeah. So we're getting that. So that's all your John Wick news, which is great. This is going to be interesting. Amazon had submitted a bid to buy TikTok before the ban officially ends. Amazon submitted a bid to the White House to purchase the social media app TikTok from its Chinese owners, CNBC confirmed. The company sent a proposal in a letter this week to Vice President J.D. Vance and Commerce Secretary Howard whatever, according to a source familiar with the matter who asked not to be named. Because the discussions are technically confidential, the parties are not treating the bid seriously. However, given that it was submitted just days before the deadline staving off the U.S. ban is set to expire, so I'm surprised this is not a bigger deal. The last time they banned it, everyone's lost their shit over 24 hours. The ban is coming up, and no one has officially come through and made the bid. I mean, Amazon is bidding, but we'll see. So,
could you imagine Amazon having TikTok and Twitch together, which is pretty much, not the same audience, but a lot of it does overlap.
There's a lot of overlap.
And then just find another way for TikTok to continue not making them money. Like Amazon likes to have properties that don't make a dime for them. They look great. They're impressive for your portfolio. They just don't make any money.
No. Well, they'll get TikTok, and then our yearly Amazon subscription will go up another $20-$30. So
right.
And then the last story we're going to go over is something near and dear to my heart, and it scares me immensely. The Legend of Zelda live action picture is going forward with Wes Ball set as a director. They announced that Legend of Zelda will hit theaters March 26th, 2027. Wes Ball, who directed the last Planet of the Apes movie, he's directing Miyamoto and Avi Arad, who's best known as the producer of all the Spider-Man movies for Sony. They're producing this movie. I don't like it. I know that the Mario Brothers movie did great. They're getting a sequel to that. That did well in animation. I would love to see Legend of Zelda as an animated movie. Maybe do it kind of a little more geared to that. A live action, it sounds like it could have a lot of problems, and they're doing that, and it's coming out in 2 years, which is even worse because that's not a lot of time to cast the movie, get everything done, and put out quality work. And that's what scares me about it. Yeah, and I love Legend of Zelda. It's my favorite franchise. I mean, I've got my little Legend of Zelda stuff at my desk all the time.
And they'll find a way to screw up the casting where this
it'll
is
be
the new
like
guy
Tom
for
Holland
Link.
is,
and you're like,
yeah.
No, not like Tom Holland. It's going to be something so ridiculous, and you go, that's not what Link looks like. Well, Link,
it's going to be a black British actor.
And you get that pushback, and it's like, it's fantasy, it's made up, it doesn't matter what he looks like. No, it kind of does.
Well, because we saw things like with Halo, the TV show, where they're like, yeah, we made the show. We decided to not look or play the games or look at any of the existing canon. We kind of wanted to do something on our own. Well, that failed.
Yeah.
You have to play to your audience. Like, as much as you want to be artistic and do something new, we don't want to see something new. I want to see Link fighting Ganon. I want all kinds of crazy shit happening.
All kinds of Pig Ganon, human Ganondorf, everything. I just want to see it all happen.
Yeah. So
lasers shooting out of the swords.
Dogs and cats living together.
Yeah.
I want a talking tree.
Finding
someone saying, hey, listen,
the
constantly.
warp whistle, a tornado takes them to a different part of Hyrule.
If they could do Ocarina of Time, then you can cast two different people to play Link because you need the older and the younger. I think you have a lot of potential.
You know what would be good, dude? Because the game was super confusing, but it might work good for a movie. Majora's Mask.
Majora's Mask would be good.
Yeah.
I don't think you can do a Majora's Mask without doing Ocarina of Time first because those were two.
No, but I mean, Majora's Mask is a constant time travel movie.
No, it's not. Majora's Mask is the time stop movie. Like time just resets. So remember the big moon's coming,
right?
And then it stops and it goes back to a set pit.
I thought it was
Ocarina
a different thing, adjusting the times back and forth.
Ocarina is the one that.
See, that's why I said it's confusing. I hated that game. I never finished that game. I hated that one.
But yeah, it's my favorite franchise. I got my Ocarina. You got my Triforce here. Like it's something that I really don't think they're going to do it well.
Frankie Bronson says Chris Pratt starring as Link.
He's the great Deku.
Yeah, just how it's going to be.
So that's
Velvet Pilot is in the chat saying, "Love you, E-Rock. Hello, sir. Welcome. Like and subscribe. Everybody in here, you're all in here. Do me the kindness. Go click the like button right now. If you haven't subscribed, do that already. It's free. It's 1 or 2 clicks. It's not going to hurt you any. We do need to get out of here. We got to do the plugs. So at this point, Jordan, our nation's eyes turn to you.
If you want to catch me on X, Instagram, Blue Sky, at Jinxed Ronin, Twitch, at Jinxed Ronin 79. Also, I think you can look up Jinxed Ronin on YouTube and find some stuff there as well. I've been playing the new Indiana Jones and the Great Circle on Xbox. I've been streaming a little bit of it. I think I might throw that up there maybe even tonight and play through that a little bit more. I'm punching Nazis. I'm finding relics. It's
Indiana
really
Jones
fun.
and the Circle of K.
There we go. If you have an Amazon subscription, please go over to our Twitch channel. Use that free Twitch subscription on our channel. Go ahead and just click that little box. It costs you nothing extra. It helps out the show, and we would appreciate it.
All right. We got to remember to put that at the front of the show, too. Okay, I always forget about that until you bring it up. For me and the show, it's Eric Nagel across the board on all the social media platforms. If you're listening on the iHeartRadio app, do us a kindness over there. Go and put us as the #1 preset on that app, and then you never have to touch the damn thing again. If you're listening on Apple and Spotify, do us a kindness over there. Leave us a positive review. Those do help out the program. If you want to join us live each and every week as we do this program, you can head over to our live rooms on YouTube and on Twitch, all under It's Eric Nagel. Use that free subscription, as Jordan told you, if you have a Prime account. And if you can't be bothered with all of that stuff and you just want to watch the video when you're damn good and ready, it's all available on our YouTube channel under It's Eric Nagel. And I think that's everything, right? Did we not forget everything?
Go check out Dave Landau's new book.
Yes,
and,
Dave Landau's
check out his Instagram for any of his comedy dates. I know he's going to be out here, I think, the 18th and 19th. I've got a concert on the 18th, but I might go check him out that Saturday night.
Out there meaning Arizona.
Arizona, correct. I apologize.
Yeah, Dave's book, why is my plug still over there? There you go. Party of One. Available on Amazon. I think it's for Kindle. Audible is coming, like he said, and the hard copies will be available very, very soon for you to purchase all of that stuff. All right, we need to get out of here. So until the next time, everybody,
be excellent to each other,
and we'll be seeing you.
It's Eric Nagel.
Last time, I almost killed everybody.
And what did you learn from that?
Lessons, I guess.
Alas, we're out of time.
Follow It's Eric Nagel on social media platforms. For ways to watch and listen to the show, or join us for the live shows, head over to itsericnagel.com. Yo, and remember to tell 2 friends so they can tell 2 friends, and they can tell 2 friends, they can tell 2 friends, they can tell 2 friends. You get the idea.
Keep it real, homies.